Out of 231, 1092 Stafford, Texas, 77477. Our class times are Monday and Wednesdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Fridays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Mondays, we are not on class, but on Wednesdays we are, and Fridays we're not. You have to be here in town to be here with us in person. We have brother schools. One is Virginia, 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. Class times are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. through 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Fridays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Rochester also, we just new school. It's actually, we don't have the address for that yet, but they have classes. There's going to be classes coming up on Tuesdays and Thursdays also from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We can actually give you the phone number. That's actually to our brother Zai Wam. His phone number is 757-762-3917 for class location or online, however you want to talk to him about. We also have another brother school, San Antonio, is actually 4444 Walsham Road, Site 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. Class times are Monday, Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also on Fridays, 7:30 to 10 p.m. Saturdays also from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also watch us or listen to us on Blog Talk Radio, mashabablogtalk.com//Mashaba on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. They have really good classes on there. You need to listen to it. We have other channels also. Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. Also, ISBHPK Norfolk, Virginia. 5 Minutes of Wisdom, Hidden Truth Bible Show, and Israelite Media. Once you're on our website, you can actually scroll down, and you will actually find all of our channels on the one channel. Okay, we have upcoming feast right now, which is the Passover celebration. It's going to be on Sunday, April 17, 2022. You haven't got your garment money in. We're going to be asking for that pretty soon. And they make some pretty fly garments.
No, there's a sign-up sheet.
Oh, right.
That was sent out in the camp texts.
Right.
So if you haven't gotten that sign-up sheet, let us know. But that was sent out in the ISBHPK text. You just got to go and sign up. It tells you the price of the garment. There's a link. If we need to get it back out, we'll get it out. But you got to follow that link.
Yes. Let us know. It shows that we are now accepting orders, and they collect money through the Passover garments. Israel is one of our school businesses that make fringes, fringe pants, fringe shirts, headbands. We're actually wearing them up here right now. They do very, very good work. We have other schools that come to us, and it's actually very grateful that we have this upon our school. And we ask people to come help check us out and see the work that our sisters actually do. They do some mighty fabulous work over here. Also, check us out. It's actually, it's called Fringed Up, matter of fact, on subscriptions. And we also have, the shirts are just $35. The headband and the shirt are $75 if you subscribe on it. Okay. We also have another business, right? Also, Sweet Ambiance. Actually, you can order that on sweetambiance.com, the oils that we use here. And these oils are fly. They also do butter. What's that, back butter?
Body butter.
Body butter. They do soaps. They do bath bombs, bath salt. You have to check that stuff out. We use it every single day here. And you need to check that out. It's actually very, very good. We have Hebrew Academy. We have Hebrew Academy here in Virginia and in Rochester, New York, every Monday. In Houston, every Tuesday. So you have to be there in person to be there. You can contact the priest, we're going to give you the phone numbers. Is actually Priest Kazaki is 757-300-4047. Or also our Priest Quatazap is actually here in Houston. They're actually 303-557-8979. If you want to call or text, if it's during class time, we ask to call and text, and be respectful when you call and text the brothers, or text the brothers. Also, we take also donations. Is that on the screen? Our donations actually on Wells Fargo.
Nothing's gonna be on the screen.
Okay.
You gotta go from the phone.
That's Wells Fargo, actually is 10, for account is 101-580-6167. That's the Wells Fargo account. Or you can cash app for any donation is the $ is ISBHPK donations. Or you can actually mail it. Mail it to 231. No, we have to give you call Priest Quatazak or Kazaki to check out, see where you want the donations to be sent, if it's in mail or otherwise. Or you can call also Rochester, which is Zion, at 757-762-3917. And that's it for the announcements.
Yeah, remember, we got, before Passover, we have Purim coming up. Did they say that? Did you say that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Purim is coming up. I believe it's in March. We'll give you the information on that. Again, we'll get the link out. Let me see if I can put it in real quick. The link for the Passover garments. Where did I put that? Give me 1 sec. Link for the Passover garments. Here it is. Copy. Let me see if they'll let me put it in the chat. That may have worked. In any event, if you need the link, hit us up. That's for the Passover garments for the brothers. It has the prices and all that good stuff. So make sure you get that filled out. That way they can get that filled out, send the sisters the money. That way they can, we got to start getting on the garments. We got 4 months. We don't want to get caught off guard or caught behind. All right. So let's, I feel like I haven't done a Sabbath class in a long time. It's been about a month. So we open up with the prayers, then we do the reading, questions, closing prayers. So let's open up with the morning prayers. I imagine we'll punch out the gum, rise and face the east. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahushai.
Bahasham Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Latalanawa. A war. Zayawam. The water. Aman.
Aman. That's blessed you, Yahweh, and then Yahushai to give us a light this day. Thanks, so be it. The light represents our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding going up that we obtain through the scriptures. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before men, that they may see your glorious works and glorify your Father which is in heaven."
Like it?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Probably gotta melt some of the wax away. Or wrap it. There you go.
There you go.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ahawa'ah.
Ahawa'ah.
Nathanahu. Rayak. Rayak. The water. Aman.
That's blessed you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, to give a sweet savor. Thank you. So be it. The frankincense and myrrh represents our prayers going up to the Most High as a sweet savor. Let the scriptures say, let my prayers be sent as incense before the Most High.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ahawa'ah. Nathanahu.
Shabbat.
Bashalam.
Bashalam.
The water.
Aman. Let's bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, to get the Sabbath in peace. Thank you. So be it.
This is Psalms 121. Psalms 121. Ainashah. Ayanyabiyah. Maharyam. Na'ayah. Rabawa'ah. Isaiah. Rabawa'ah. Ma'yahweh. Sha'aisha. Shemayim. Wa'aratazah. La'ah. Yanathan. Lamawat. Regalia. Yala'ah. Nawam. Shasharamar. Yasharala. Yahweh. Shamaria. Yahweh. Tazalia. Al. Yanimyah. Hashemash. Yala'ah. Hakaya. Bayawam. Wala'ah. Halabana. Balayala. Yahweh. Yashamaria. Korai. Yashamar. Napashia. Yahweh. Yashamar. Hawalakia. Wabawa'aya. Ma'aitan. Wa'ai.
Aman. This is Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, even forevermore. Bahashem Yahushai. The water. Amen.
Shema Yasharala. Yahweh Allah Hayanoah. Yahweh Echad. Shema Yasharala. Yahweh Allah Hayanoah. Yahweh Echad. Shema Yasharala. Yahweh Allah Hayanoah. Yahweh Echad.
Let's hear Israel. Yahweh our power. Yahweh is one.
Lord's Prayer. Abanawa. Shabbat Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ma'aratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Lacham. Kol. Yawam. Masalach Nawa. Kasalach Nawa.
Kasalat Noah.
Kawawat Yanawa. Wala'ah. Tabianawa. Badasai 1. Habal. Hawashai Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'ata La'ai.
Amen. This is Matthew 6 and 9. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as it in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Aishara.
Aishara.
Matazawa.
Matazawa. The Ten Commandments.
Number one, La'ah.
La'ah.
Yahaya.
Yahaya.
Lakah.
Lakah.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Aharyim.
Aharyim.
Alpanya.
Alpanya. Thou shalt not make any, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
La'ah.
La'ah.
La'isha.
La'isha.
Lakah.
Lakah.
Pasol.
Pasol.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
La'ibadam.
Ta'ibadam. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Tawakwa'at.
Tawakwa'at.
Sham.
Sham.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashawa.
Bashawah. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
Zakar.
Zakar.
Hayawam.
Hayawam.
Hashabat.
Hashabat.
Lakodashwa.
Like a Joshua. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Kabad.
Kabad.
Amaka.
Amaka.
Wa Amaka.
Wa Amaka. Honor thy father and thy mother.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Taratazak.
Thy right. Thou shalt not murder.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Tana'ah.
Tana'ah. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Taganah.
Ta'chaman. Thou shalt not steal.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Ta'inah.
Ta'inah.
Shakor.
Shakor. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Ba'chamad.
Ba'chamad.
Kol.
Kol.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Lara'ika.
La'ra'aka. Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor's.
Bahasham Yahushai.
Bahasham Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
From Yah.
From Yah. Aman. Yashavim, which means to be seated.
Sir. Yeah, we apologize for the lateness and for the camera. As y'all know, a lot of sick people happening. A lot of sickness going on, so it's got a couple of people out, man. It's like the scriptures say, the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray for more laborers. Right? It's good when everybody can be, it's good to have a lot of good working parts, man, because when one person goes down, or two people go down, you got backups, you know? But let's get into this reading. So we're in Exodus. Man, I feel like I haven't been here for any of the Sabbaths. Wow. So we're already in Exodus, huh? Okay. So we're at Exodus 18. So we're going to read Exodus, we're going to read Isaiah, we're going to hit Matthew, and then we're going to hit Esther chapter 10. So we can make some light work of this. We ain't got to be here all day. We ain't got to do no marathons, right? Unless y'all want to be here all day. Unless y'all want to be here with the 8-hour marathon. I don't think I got 8 hours in me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Been there.
I don't think I got 8 hours in me. But them days might be over. Stamina ain't high no more like that, you know?
The strength in you.
Right. The will is present. Right?
Your body
Spirit is willing, but the body is not able. Let's get the first reader.
William, Sabbath Shah, Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
William Shabbat Shah Yahawada Ban Yasha'ala. I Magin. Barak.
Yahawba Shimei Asab Rakatham.
Yahawba Shem Yahshab Brakatah. You know, we always tell you know, we always preaching to brothers and sisters about taking care of their health, and it's important. That way, when these diseases slide through,
Con.
and decimate communities and things like that, they don't have to hit you so hard. Like eating healthy and being healthy doesn't mean you'll never get sick, you know. But it doesn't have to hit you as hard as it hits some. So,
Con.
you know, I gotta say that because I don't want y'all to think like, well, y'all are supposed to, you know, y'all are eating healthy and doing this and doing that. How come y'all are sick? Well, you can't avoid all sicknesses, especially when everybody around you is sick. And what, you know, the things that we do for business, we're always out and around a lot of different people. When you're in that mall, you're gonna encounter everybody, right? When you're doing deliveries on those trucks, you gotta go into people's houses. Everybody ain't clean and sanitary. And all it takes is you to not get no rest one day, right? Eat a little extra sugar in your diet that day and touch somebody's dirty door handle and then touch your face. That's it. That's all it takes. You could be as healthy as a whistle. Take all the herbs and you could still get your touch. So, you know, it's all in the hands of the Lord at the end of the day. We just got to do our part to try to mitigate a lot of the sickness that goes on. All right.
You saying that in this day and time, you should never touch your face without washing your
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I'm a big face toucher. I always touch but I'm getting away from that because, yeah, my hands are. I try to keep my hands clean as much as possible, but man, we touch so many things unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? It's insane the amount of places your hands go and how many microbes are on just the steering wheel of your car, your phone, keyboard, the keyboard at your office if you got on a book, on door handles. There's so many millions and billions of microbes that some things are just not avoidable. So anyway, let's get into the reading. We're at Exodus chapter 18 and verse 1. So we already passed the 10 plagues, right? Mm-hmm. Moses already led the children of Israel out of Egypt, and now we're kind of just roaming through the wilderness, trying to find our way, right? Mm-hmm. So go ahead. Where we at?
Exodus chapter 18, verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that the Most High had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Most High had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name of one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Elazar. For the Most High, the Father, said, He was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of the Most High. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare. And they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Most High had done unto Pharaoh.
Let me say one thing. At this point, who is Midian? Who is Midian? Who is he the son of?
Abraham.
Well, who?
Abraham?
Yes. Midian is the son of Abraham, who is the progenitor of the Midianites. Now, at this point in history, we're a little bit away from Genesis. We're about 500 years away from that time of Abraham. So from that time of Abraham having Midian until about now, the Midianites begin to worship other gods. Right? They begin to worship other gods, and they go off from the teachings of Abraham. Right? And you know, you got to see it. Moses, when he was dealing with Jethro, because this is the second time he dealt with him, you got to see the respect that Moses had for Jethro, even though he wasn't a wholehearted follower of the Most High.
Right.
It said he did obeisance. He bowed to him. He did obeisance. He treated him. He didn't run up on him like, nigga, what's your rank? What camp you with? Right? He didn't. Oh, you believe in other gods, you wicked. Right? He dealt with him as like a human. He dealt with him like a man. No matter what his religious belief was. And remember, Jethro was a priest of the Midianites, right? So Moses knew what Jethro was on,
Right.
but he didn't take that as an occasion now to cuss him out, treat him less of a man because he didn't believe what he believed. I mean, he was his father-in-law.
Right.
He was dealing with the man's daughters.
Mm-hmm.
The man did protect his daughter and his children while he was out on a mission.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to see these little, I like to bring things like that out because we got to get back to more of dealing like this. Stop looking at what people believe in as a reason for you to be upset or angry or treat them a certain way. Let them believe what they believe. They have to believe what they believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says that their heresies must come to show the ones that are approved of the Lord. So if a cat wants to believe that, if a brother wants to believe that when men teach or pray or prophesy that they can cover their heads, fine. You show them through the scriptures that, wait a minute, that ain't what the scriptures say. But if he wants to hold on to that belief, hey, the scripture said, treat him like a brother, right? You don't got to make him an enemy or treat him evil because of a belief,
Right.
especially when his belief ain't got a damn thing to do with you, right? The world believes that homosexuality is cool. Guess what? That ain't got nothing to do with me,
That's true.
right? That doesn't impact my day to day. Does it have an impact? Yes, but my day to day life, no. Do I got to see it on TV when I turn it on and commercials and things? Yeah, it's there because that's what they push. But
Right.
on a day-to-day impact of my life, it has no impact. So we got to stop letting what people believe make us react to them a certain way. That's what you believe. That's what you believe. Look at how Moses dealt. Look at how Abraham dealt. All these righteous men, they dealt a certain way, but look at what it got them. They weren't out there making enemies just because. They weren't out there making starting wars just because. They stood for what they believed in. That's the best way to fight. Is to stand for what you believe in. A lot of us, man, it's so ironic. Because you'll sit there and going on the Christians, right? You're going on your Christian family. They're so wicked. They're so off. I hate them. But then you'll do exactly what they do.
True.
As a Hebrew, you'll do the Hebrew Christian fake pump fakes, right? You'll do the, I can't be there. You'll do all that. You'll do all that. You'll ridicule them for cherry picking the Bible. But you'll cherry pick how you serve the Lord as a Hebrew.
That's true.
So how you gonna be mad at them for doing what they do, but you do it on the opposite end of the spectrum? So we gotta be careful how we judge. We gotta be careful how we deal with people. And again, our job is to be vessels of teaching. Can't make you, can't persuade you, right? Can't force you, but I can only water you, right? One man plant, one man water. The Most High is gonna increase that person out of whatever thought process he wants to get them out of or get them into.
Right.
We're just a vessel to speak, use our words to encourage, use our words to edify. That's it. Once you start getting that in your head, you know what, you'll start having easier days when it comes to dealing with people. Because then you won't take things so personal, man.
That's true.
Like, I don't take it personal. When cats go online You got brothers, you got a few brothers that been with our school going online, just really being very, what's the word? Slanderous online, saying things that aren't true just about their time with the camp. You know what? I don't take it personal. I'm like, I get it. You're probably high right now. You're probably lonely right now. You're probably upset right now. And, you know, we're taught to go on Facebook and social media and lash out. I don't take it personal. I'm like, man, Barakatah Yahweh, the scripture said you would do that. The Bible said you would come amongst us, spy out our liberties, use us, abuse us, dip out, and then talk crap about us. That's what the scriptures say you would do. But what do? We keep putting ourselves in position to be that vessel to be used. So I don't take it personal, man. We shouldn't take it personal. If you want to believe in a higher, go right ahead. Moses didn't believe in that. Right? There's many things that man believes in that's not biblical. So you're going to always encounter that. You see that? We're always going to encounter people that don't believe the things that you believe. Doesn't mean we still can't be peaceable. Right? So just another example of Moses. Go ahead.
Exodus 18 verse 8. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Most High had done unto Pharaoh and to Egypt and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Most High delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Most High had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians.
See, even Jethro, he believed in the Most High, right? But in their service, they went off a little bit. It said he rejoiced, right? He didn't look at Moses like, "Oh, nigga, that you tripping, bro? That wasn't the Most High. That was my God that did that. Yeah. That was my." He didn't do all that. He said, "Man, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai." Maybe not in those words, right? But he rejoiced with Moses. But then check this out. Watch, read.
And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness. And Jethro said, "Blessed be the Most High, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians."
Go ahead.
Now I know that the Most High is greater than all gods.
You see that? Wow. He had to bow down. He had to break himself. Break yourself. Why would he have to say that? Well, because they were serving other gods in Midian. Let's be real. They were. They went off from what Abraham taught them, and they start serving other gods. But Jethro had to come back and say, "Man, our Lord, our power, ain't never did nothing like that for us."
Yeah.
Right? Our power didn't deliver us in this way. He didn't put us in these positions to show us his strength. But damn, your Lord, he's the man. That's right? He had to acknowledge it. He had to bow the knee.
That's it.
But look at how Moses came. Look at how Moses dealt with him in the onset, and was able to deliver that message and show Jethro and literally walk him through the 10 plagues. Like, look, he made the whole land get black except for us. Look, all the firstborn killed.
That's true.
And we still alive. Look, all their cattle gone. He probably, look how much cattle we got. Huh? Look how much riches, look all the gold we took from them. Look at all this, look at all that. Look at all the people that came that left Egypt. Let's understand a few things. The Midianites, yeah, they were in a different land, but it wasn't that they didn't know what was going on anyway.
Oh yeah.
Remember, we had trade routes and travelers and men that went to these different lands, and they came back and brought reports.
Yeah, news travels.
Yeah, so they knew what was going on, right? But to get that firsthand account, to see it, to see the people come out of Egypt, to see Moses, right? To see Aaron, to see the gold, to see the cattle, to see the old, the young, all them people come up out of there and really and say, "Man, I was in Egypt my whole life.
Yeah.
I was in Egypt my whole life." That had to really do something to Jethro, right?
Makes it more believable.
But what it did was it put him in the right mind for a moment. Read on.
For the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them.
Right. You see that? Go ahead.
And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God.
See, look, we went over this last night about the burnt offering. There was when you read Leviticus 9, was it Leviticus 9? You ain't got to go there, but was it Leviticus 9? I think it was Leviticus 9. There was a law for the burnt offering. There was a way the Most High had that set up. So Jethro wasn't going to go offer some random animal that they wanted to offer to the Most High. It wouldn't have been accepted.
That's true.
He had to know our laws. They had to know our laws on what to sacrifice and how to do it, there was a law of the burnt offering. It's Leviticus 6, right? We went there yesterday.
Yeah, Leviticus 9.
Leviticus chapter 9, excuse me. Yeah, Leviticus chapter 9, and it tells you this is the law of the burnt offering. And it goes down and gives all the stipulations on how the Most High wanted that burnt offering to be performed. So what does Jethro do? He sets up a burnt offering. Well, he had to do it according to the law.
That's true.
Of the Most High in Christ. He couldn't do it according to what they wanted a burnt offering to be. Mm-hmm. Who knows what the hell they was burning up? Mm-hmm. Right? Who knows what animals they were sacrificing? And in what thought process? So they had to,
That is correct.
Yeah, so they had to do things on the up and up according to what the Most High wanted. Go ahead.
And Aaron came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before the Most High. And
You see that? And for whatever they ate, it had to be lawful. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw that all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou self alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto evening. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the status of the Most High and his laws.
Was that verse 16?
Come.
Oh, that was it? Oh, wow. Okay. Everybody, any questions on that? All right. Next reading. Elijah, Shabbat Shah, Yashakar, Ban Yashala. I might. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Braktam.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatah. So you're at Exodus 18 and 17. Exodus 18 and verse 17. And you know, again, what this is going to go in and show us is that the Most High, see, another one of our issues as man, it's like we be wanting to tell the Most High what to do. Like, how can he use that person to tell me something?
Yep.
Or he don't use the nations, or he don't, yeah, he does.
Yep.
The Most High does whatever the hell he wants. He does use the nations on our behalf. He used Nebuchadnezzar on our behalf. Yes, they enslaved us, but then they destroyed Egypt for us. He uses, he used, in this instance, he's going to use Jethro to give wise instruction, wise counsel to Moses on how to deal with the people. You see that? So the Most High, we get into this mind state that it's all about Israel and it's Israel only. Yes, that is the truth. But there were other nations around us, right? There were other kings and things around us that the Most High used for our benefit. So when he appeared to one Egyptian king or a pharaoh in a dream, for our benefit. When he came, when he dealt with Nebuchadnezzar, for our benefit. When you read in, I believe it's First Ezra, and what was that? Was it Darius? I forget what king it was, but how they had he used the other nation to rebuild our temple. Right? Was that Cyrus?
Cyrus.
Right. He was using the nations to rebuild what was being destroyed.
Gone.
And they were taking money out their treasury and gold and things like that to rebuild our temples. So the Most High can use whoever he wants. We got to stop being so narrow-minded in our thinking, narrow-minded in our scripture outlook. Read where you at.
Exodus chapter 18 and verse 17. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform in thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice.
He said what?
Hearken now unto my voice.
Listen to me, Moses. Read.
I will give thee counsel.
Read.
And God shall be with thee.
And Moses was like, nah, nigga, you a Midianite, you garbage. Y'all out here sacrificing the wrong things and y'all fell off. F you. Right? I know that, I know we family from way back, but
Way back.
I ain't rocking with y'all. Surely that's how Moses was dealing, right? Like a nigger. You know why I'm bringing this up? Because you got brothers. Listen, you got brothers that have been online that have literally, they've literally, I've heard brothers, talking about F the elders and F this elder and F that elder because the elder might have fell off, or because the brother ate with this camp or that camp no more, and it's like F him. And it's like, come on, man. Where do we draw the line and hold some type of integrity within ourselves? If a man falls off, the scripture don't say to F him. The scripture say if a man is taken in a fault, he that is spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness. It don't say to F that brother and go online and blast him and ridicule him and do all. It don't say that. Right? It says he that is spiritual, but see, there's not a lot of spiritual men in Israel, even in this time. We got a lot of doctrine chasers. We got a lot of debaters and arguers, right? But not a lot of men that are spiritual. And how do you know? Because you still got so many spiritual defects in camps. You still got a lot of these schools got brothers beating their women. We hear it. You know why? Because they come to us. And we're like, well, did you go to your elder? Did you go to your elder? Listen, you got a lot of brothers in the school that know a lot of brothers outside that are in different camps. And they're looking at the brothers, not saying that we got it all and that we're the best, and not saying that, but they're looking at the standard of how brothers is rolling and how they're dealing with their situations, and they're saying, wait a minute, I'm not getting that. My elder's not providing that. You see that? They may not be taking that time out to sit and give them that counsel and them phone calls. I mean, and how can they when all they want to do is debate all day?
Sure.
And argue online all day and make YouTube videos all day about arguing with the person you argued with yesterday. Like, how many times can you go back and forth with vocab alone?
That's true.
Who the hell got time for that? That nigga ain't an Israelite. Who the hell got time to go back and forth with vocab alone for 15 YouTube sessions? Nigga, please. Please. He stands on his square. That nigga ain't never coming off.
That's right.
He ain't never gonna stop believing what he believes. So why would I argue with him all day? Who the hell got time to argue with the conscious, unconscious community? They ain't never gonna stop believing in their gods,
That's true.
right? They ain't never gonna stop as a whole. Maybe one might branch off and finally get it like Jethro, but who got time to sit there and argue Kemet all day? Who got time for that? When so much of our people is still believing in America. That's the worst. You got Kemet, you got Christian, you got Israelite, you got Muslim, right? You got all these, you got Black Power, Black Panther, you got all these different things, right? But then you still got America. More of our people believe in America than they believe that they're Israelites or Kemet or Christian or anything. They believe more in America. We got to get them off of we got to get them off that drug, America.
That's so true.
Right? But we sitting there arguing about, we argue with what's his name? Post Malone, Vocab Malone. Or arguing with Sinetta. Who the hell got time for that? Debating with Shaka Atmos. Like, who gives a crap? Nigga, how many times we gonna argue with him?
God.
How many debates are we gonna have with these same people? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Takes away from your duty.
Bro, it takes all the way from it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes all the way from it. Yes, and you have the few brothers that'll get edified and they'll wake up and, oh damn, I'm not part of Kemet. Yeah, okay, Khan. You'll have the few that are, they'll wake up from that. But I mean, how many more years are we gonna be debating with Christians?
That's
The Bible.
correct.
Instead of just, because this is my problem. If you're gonna debate the Bible and stand on your belief, you better be living in your belief. You better live in the law that you're debating on. But too many of our debaters are the ones getting caught up in YouTube scandals. Too many debaters that'll debate the law and go back and forth. Like the scriptures say, you stand in the law, but you break the law. Right? They'll debate the law tooth and nail. Then they're the ones on YouTube scandal.
Yeah.
They're the ones on YouTube. This is going on in their school. This is going on in their school. It's like, what the hell are y'all doing?
Mm-hmm.
Get your house right before you out there debating. It looks bad.
Because
Anyway, let's jump back.
Verse 19. Hearken now unto my voice.
Right.
I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest bring the cause up unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt shew them the way therein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
The what?
The work that
The sitting down?
The work.
The sitting on your ass?
The work.
The work on the keyboard?
The work.
The work. See, the work, there was a work, even in this time, Jethro is warning Moses, like, look, it's going to be work to get these cats right.
yeah, that's true.
You got to have to show them the work that they must do to serve the Lord. You have to show them the ordinances and the laws that they're going to have to do to work for the Lord. Go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
ask a question.
What's
The
that?
thing is, you got to see that what he's telling him. How is it this guy? He's not even an Israelite. He's telling him exactly everything that is going to come about, and he understands these situations already.
Yeah, well,
Our people didn't understand any of it. Because you see what I'm saying?
well, because if you take away Israelite from it, listen, if you just, like, I like to break things down like this. Take away being an Israelite from your life, right? Just take away, let's say you just took the Bible out of your life,
Right.
right? You still got to eat, sleep, breathe.
Kyle.
You still got to work, right?
Correct.
You still got to do things for just human life to keep going,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's what he's showing them. Like, Midian didn't have to be, or Jethro didn't have to be an Israelite to understand that it still took work to serve whatever God that you were serving,
Right.
right? It still took work and dedication. Like, you had to be dedicated. Think about it. The run of the mill athlete, right? That don't believe in the Bible but believes in his team. Like, I was listening to Shannon Sharp yesterday, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp said one thing. He said, "Listen, if you're not investing in me as a teammate, I don't want you to be my teammate. If you're not putting in that work with me as a teammate," and he was going in about Kyrie, how Kyrie was like, man, there's other things than basketball, and I ain't taking no shot, and this, that, and the third, right? And he's like, See, I couldn't be a teammate with a man like Kyrie
Right.
because he's not fully invested into the NBA. He's not fully invested into the team.
I get
At
it.
any moment, he could break away and say, you know what, I ain't doing this no more. And now you left high and dry. Right? But think about that. That's basketball, a damn kid sport. And men demand the utmost dedication in a child sport. The utmost sincerity, the utmost dedication, the utmost unity. They tell you if the locker room is ununified, then we don't play good, right?
That's true.
Or you have or what they say about certain guys, oh, he's a cancer in the locker room. They use that, right?
Right.
But the scriptures talk about cancers,
Right.
schisms in the body, right? So I could take the Bible away, the actual words of the Bible, and show you in every instance that, wait a minute, even in the real world, they still use biblical principle.
That's true.
You still need those same principles to operate. No matter what you're doing, if you want to be a farmer, you got to be dedicated to your farm.
Right.
You don't need the Bible to tell you that. Because what happens is when it's time to produce and you ain't producing, and you sit back and you say, well, man, I had a lot of personal days that I took, right? Took a lot of sick days. When I should have been reaping and sowing, I was sitting up in the house watching Sports Center, right? The product is going to speak for itself.
That's true.
You don't need the Bible to tell us these things, but the Bible told us these things first. You see that? And then we get into the world, and then we're like, oh, well, the Bible don't matter. No, the Bible is the only thing that matters because it holds true that if you don't dedicate yourself, if you don't hold yourself accountable, if you don't fight for what you believe in, then it's going to come to nothing.
Right.
So Jethro knew this.
Huh. I get it.
He was a priest.
Yeah.
So what was he looking at? His people.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, well, your life is like this because you're not dedicated to the Lord.
Yeah.
Your life is like this because you're not dedicated.
I get it.
You see that? So he's warning Moses that, listen, man, if you don't teach these people, if you don't order things the right way and lay things out and show them that it's going to be a hard work, you're not going to be able to reach them.
I get it.
Go ahead. Now think about it. We could take the same things that we learn in sports, and we could say, well, the Bible taught us these things first. Those principles, the dedication, the consistency. You're a great athlete. What did you do? Man, I just been consistent since grade school, since I was 5. Since I touched the ball, I just stayed consistent.
Yeah.
I practiced every day. I did this. Practice is just what? Study. That's it. You practice daily. Well, you study daily. I stayed consistent. I fought through all the obstacles. You know, you listen to like Shannon Sharp, and you listen to his background. Shannon Sharp, Sherlin Sharp, those football players, they grew up in a damn 1-bedroom house with 9 siblings, with no running water. They from the South. You know, they're a little bit older, not that old, but they grew up in real bad conditions, and they made something.
Damn.
But they'll tell you, how did they do it? Consistency, dedication, unrelenting just drive to succeed.
Right.
You see that? Not letting people steer them off their path. But those are the same things that the scriptures tell us that we have to have in getting to the kingdom, right? Walk the paths, be consistent, be steadfast, be circumspect. It's the same things.
Dang.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people.
Hold on real quick. Tell them where you at. Tell them where you at, Elijah.
Exodus chapter 18 and verse 21.
Okay, keep your head up and read. Read along. Okay? Go ahead.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God.
Such as what?
Fear God.
Right. Able-bodied men. Able mentally, able physically and spiritually. Right? They had to be able to what? Put up with the people.
Right.
Deal with them on all levels, right? Go ahead.
Men of the truth.
Men of what?
The truth.
Read.
Hating covetousness.
Right? Hating covetousness. Uh-huh.
And place such over them to be rulers of thousands.
See, when you go into this right here, this is 1 Timothy 3. it's just a quick version of 1 Timothy 3. Paul went more in depth into into this. This is where Paul got that from. He got the bishop and the standard of a bishop from what Moses had to set up as judges and officers and officers of tens, 50s, thousands. You couldn't be an officer if you were covetous. If you're dealing and judging people's matters, you couldn't be a man that perverted judgment. Mm-hmm. You couldn't be greedy of gain. You couldn't be a striker. You couldn't be a drunkard. You misjudge people. You judge out of your drunkenness. You couldn't do it for the money, for the women. Right. You just be out here just sleeping with women. So a man of a first wife, right? Because if a man comes and says, hey, I got a problem with my wife, and you 5 years old and never had a woman, what advice can you give?
You can't give any.
You can't give any. You see that? I got a problem with this situation, but you have no experience. What advice can you give?
That's true.
So we're understanding that Paul, the standards of a bishop, the standards of a deacon, this is where it came from. This is where it came from. The Old Testament. Go ahead.
And rulers of hundreds.
Right, and also, if you ever wonder why we had ranking in the school, oh, he's on, take your officer's test, take your soldier's test. Well, here it is. The test is just formalities. The test doesn't gauge a man's characteristics. The test is just knowledge, but knowledge puffeth up. Charity edify.
That's true.
So the test doesn't gauge a man's charity level or his long suffering or his hospitality or his dedication, because you got very book smart, very studious brothers that will look at that test, take it in one day and pass. They'll pass the formal writing, but they'll fail the spiritual application. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. It's like brothers will breeze through all three tests. Soldier, officer 50, officer 100. Ta-da! I've arrived. Okay. Well, we need you to show what you've learned. We need you to sacrifice a little bit on this end. Sacrifice? I didn't sign up for sacrifice. Well, no, remember, it was in the test. It was in the test, not. But the test was just Judah, Benjamin, Levi, right? The 12 tribes. All it was the feast days.
Right.
God, that was the formal writing. But the spiritual application, you should have been doing that before the test. And then after. You see what I'm saying? So when we say the test is spiritual, it's because it is. It is spiritual because what it's going to do is you're telling the Most High you're ready to put yourself on the next levels of your spiritual growth, of your dedication, of your consistency, of giving yourself. And then what's going to happen? Well, he's going to require it. Right? He's going to require it in many different ways. And you'll shrink in the moment or you'll step up to the plate. That's it. Right? So go ahead, read on.
Rulers of 50.
Right?
And rulers of 10.
Uh-huh.
And let them judge the people at all seasons.
Right?
And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee.
Right?
But every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Yeah, it's like when they brought the man that was gathering sticks on the Sabbath. They brought that directly to Moses because this is a hard matter. We don't know what to do here. We ain't never dealt with this before. What do we do? Well, and Moses was like, well, gotta go talk to the Most High because, right? Where the Most High say, well, lock them up. Lock them up for a few days. And we'll deal with it. Then he came back, put him to death. Put him to death because he shouldn't have been breaking the unity on the Sabbath. Yeah. You see that? So just an example that every single issue didn't go directly to Moses. They had a ranking system and things went up the chain depending on its severity. Simple, think about the things that we dispute about today. it was the same disputes back then, right? It was the same disputes back then. That's my land. He got his cattle grazing on my grass. He was standing by my tent and my garment came up missing. Did you see him take the garment? Was he holding it? Nah, but he was standing by my tent door.
Yeah.
So how could you say he took it just because he was standing by the tent door?
Yeah.
Did you see him? Did you witness things like that? Things that we deal with today, right? Little small issues, and then you had the large issues. You had larger issues. That come on, man. All the things that Israel deal with: adultery, killing, murdering, all that. Kidnapping, people coming up missing. We got to investigate. We got to bring it to Moses. We may not read about all those instances in the scriptures, but best believe we were rebellious, hard-headed, and stiff-necked. If we can create a damn golden calf out of nothing in 2 nights, best believe we was doing everything else abominable for them 40 years.
Damn.
All right. Where we at?
Verse 23. If thou shalt do this thing, and God commanded thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure. And
Right, endure, because, man, it's a lot. It's a lot having the weight of all those people on your back and having to sift through every matter. It's a lot. It's a lot for one man. And yes, Moses would not have lasted 80 years.
That's true.
He wouldn't even have lasted 40 years in the wilderness if he had to deal with all those different issues that the people were going to come with.
Wow.
Go ahead.
And all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law.
No, he was like, nah, I ain't messing with that.
And Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law.
Well, you ain't an Israelite, so how can you give me advice?
So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law.
Yeah, because Moses, it says a man of counsel will be considerate. Moses was a wise man also. And he understood where wisdom was coming from.
Gone.
He wasn't looking at Jethro being a Midianite. He was looking at the wisdom coming from Jethro. Right? Just like a lot of us tend to not do. You look at the man instead of listening to the words. Well, how can you tell me anything? You just a man just like me. Come. You're right. But am I telling you to kill yourself? Am I telling you to do drugs? Am I telling you to pimp yourself? No, we telling you get right, study, keep your spirit right, follow the scriptures, follow the law, right? We giving you those instructions. Don't get caught up in the flesh. Listen to what's being said, and don't disannul it because of who's saying it all the time. It's true. But you do got to be careful. You got to listen. You got to listen. I'm not saying that you go post up in front of Esau, but think about it. Even Esau will teach you a lot. The white man will teach you a lot of things if you just listen and you take the meat and you throw away the bones, right? You take the good and you throw away the bad, man. I'm not saying to learn how to go be a pedophile or anything like that. Cause they'll teach you how to do that too.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But listen, they'll teach you how to farm your land. They'll teach you a lot of different things, man. Just about this world. It says Esau was a man of the field.
Yep.
They know this world. They know this world because they're men of the world. So where we at?
Chapter 24, second precept. And did all that he had said. Verse 25. And Moses chose able men out of Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard cause they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. Chapter 19 and verse 1. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert in Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Oh, next week. Any questions? Therefore, nothing. What's that?
The verse he was talking about, like verse 11.
Yeah. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods. Yep.
And when you was bringing up Cyrus, would you say that would have been like a precursor to what he was expecting to happen in the end, like Isaiah 14:2, when he said we would be the light?
Well, that's how it should have always been. We should have always been that light. Remember in Deuteronomy, he said, the law is going to be your wisdom in the sight of the nations, right? We should have been, our power should have always been the power to all the nations, just from the way we used our wisdom. Right now, when you go and you move fast forward that Isaiah 14, and it says the law shall go forth from Zion, right? Because when we get into the kingdom, there's not going to be I get to be like outside of the walls of Jerusalem. They're not going to be able to be Muslims, and right? They're not going to be able to go serve Buddha. They're not doing that, right? Because when the time comes, they're going to have to come up and observe Passover and those feast days anyway, right? So yes, it is a precursor to all those things, because when the time comes, there is not going to be any other powers to rely on. Like, oh well, yeah, Israel's over there in the New Jerusalem. They're over there celebrating, worshiping their God, right? But then we get to be, we're gonna be in India, believing in what they believe in, Shiva, right? And no, they're not gonna be able to do that. They're gonna be who they are, but they're not gonna be serving them gods. Hell no. You see that? So yeah. Yep. Remember the nation. Remember Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60. Right, we go here a lot. Isaiah 60 says. Read Isaiah 60 and verse 12.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12.
Right.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee
They'll not
perish.
what?
Serve thee.
Yeah, they're gonna be serving us, serving our gods. You see that? So by serving us, they're gonna be serving our power. Because we're gonna be serving our power. So it's a by proxy type of thing.
Right.
But they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be. Think about it. They're gonna serve us, but then they're gonna serve their gods. Their gods believe in anal worship and all types of weird stuff. So they're gonna be mixing those ideas. Nah, hell no. That's gonna be all cut down, right? If they want to continue to serve their God and serve their king, what's gonna happen? Read on.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee
Right.
shall perish.
Shall what?
Shall perish.
Yeah, if they don't want to give up their beliefs, their belief system, their religious belief, they don't want to give that up, they're gonna die. Go ahead.
Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
And a lot of nations are going to be prideful as hell in this time,
Yep.
and hold on to their belief and hold on to their religion and hold on to their God, and they're going to die in that belief. A lot of people are going to die believing that America, while it's burning, is going to be able to save them. And they're going to die in America. A lot of our people. Think about it. There's supposedly 6 billion people on Earth.
Huh?
6 billion people. You know how many people are going to die? You know how many people are going to die? Yeah, billions of people are going to die. Billions. So it's going to be a lot of death. Why? Because they're going to be wanting to serve their, keep their religious beliefs, serve their kings, serve their gods, serve whatever man is in that country, their political leaders. So they're going to die. A lot of death.
Damn.
So yes, it is a precursor to those things. I like the story with Moses and Jethro because it just shows Moses' humility. It shows his humility that he can listen to wisdom, take what he needed, and use it. We all can. We all should be better at listening, just listening to certain things and taking what you need, because there's wisdom in everything. It says wisdom goes throughout the whole earth. So there's wisdom in some things that you can pull from. There's wisdom, just because you're African don't mean you ain't got no wisdom. Just because you're white don't mean you ain't got no wisdom.
That's true.
Man.
Gone.
I got the dry sugar cough.
Oh, man.
Wow. It's just dry.
Cough drops ain't kicking?
Huh?
Cough drops ain't helping?
They doing okay. I need some Mucinex. Next reader, right?
Ramiro, Shabbat Shah, Yashka, Bayashala.
Ramiro, Shabbat Shah, Yashakar, Bun, Yashala. Hey, Michael. Barak.
Yahaba Shimon Shah Brakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Huh? Go eat the other thing.
Exodus chapter 19, verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests.
A what?
A kingdom of priests.
See, this was what was ordained even in the time of Moses. Most High said we were going to be a kingdom of priests. Go ahead.
And an holy nation.
Go ahead.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses came and called for the elders of the people.
Right, because remember, the priesthood at this time, the Levitical priesthood was not set up yet. Right? The Most High, in his mind, he was going to take the firstborn male of every family of Israel
Gone.
and make them the priests. Then he came back and thought about it like, man, that's going to put these cats in disarray. They already stingy as hell, don't want to give, so what firstborn they going to give up?
That's true.
Everybody wasn't rolling like Abraham. Talking about go sacrifice your firstborn. Okay. You got to see the Most High knew, man, he knew us. He knew our very intentions in our heart. He knew us that, bro, he knows Israel, that when it comes time to giving what they feel is valuable and sacrificing, they ain't gonna do it. And he tried to find easier ways, but even in that, think about it. He took the whole Levites. So it couldn't have been easy for them either, but it ain't gonna, when it's easy for you, it's hard for someone else, and vice versa. You see that? But that was the solution, and we'll read about it later down the line. But the Most High's whole intention was that a nation, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. He wanted us all to, even if you weren't a high priest, he still wanted you to have that priest-like demeanor.
Right.
That priest-like mentality. Right? A standard of how to carry yourself. Right? That's what it was really like. How do we carry ourselves? Man, that's a kingdom of priests over there. Hey, you're gonna go to the back if you don't be quiet. You hear me? He wanted us to roll with a certain type of characteristic and demeanor. Go ahead.
And laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do.
Got him. That's the problem with Israel, man. That's the problem with Israel. They talk too fast. They agreed. Listen, they didn't know what the hell was going on. They just agreeing with stuff. They asked no questions. He didn't inquire. Well, how we gonna do this? He just said, "God, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it, Lord." Well, that's why he says, "Be not rash with thy mouth. Be ready to hear and to give the sacrifice of fools." And the people answered together and said, together. Remember, why did the Most High pull us up out of Egypt? He said he heard the cry of Israel. He heard us all together. And took pity on us and said, okay, it's time. They all crying out. Here, they get held to this standard because they all together said, we'll do it. They all unified in folly. Because that's what this was. Not saying that they shouldn't have agreed, that we shouldn't have agreed, but we were hasty because we couldn't uphold. I mean, we know the story.
Right.
We didn't uphold anything, man. We didn't uphold anything. We didn't uphold the end of our bargain. Why? Because we didn't inquire about our well-being. At least ask questions. Well, you got us out here in the wilderness. Like, how we gonna let before you? I got it. I'm on it. Okay. You sure? Go ahead.
And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord.
Yeah, and then Moses reports back. Well, they said amen, Lord. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai.
So not only are you going to hear me, but you're going to see me. You're going to see my glory, right? I'm going to show you my power, my majesty. Go ahead.
And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned, or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives.
Right, go get cleaned up. right? You put on your Sunday's best. The Lord is coming, right? Go clean up the camp. Make sure you there ain't no dung piles anywhere, and make sure you ain't got no uncleanness on your flesh, right? Make sure you cleaned up, and prepare for the Lord. He's a coming. Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightning,
Right.
and the thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount.
Right.
And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice.
Right. Hold that. Go to Psalm 68 real quick, 17. Just so we can understand what was happening on that mount. What was going on that the people were seeing and hearing. Go ahead.
Psalm 68, verse
Psalm-
17.
Yep.
The chariots of God are 20,000,
Right.
even thousands of angels.
Right.
The Most High is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place.
Right. You see that? 20,000 chariots, thousands and thousands of angels, and the Lord is amongst all that. So all that power, all that majesty had that mountain like a furnace, just smoking, trembling, and you you just look it up like, damn, like think about it when you see one chariot, you're like in amazement. You're just like, whoa, right? You're like, but imagine it said 20,000. Imagine seeing 20,000 flying rolls.
That's true. Sitting up there.
And hearing all that noise,
Knees be weak.
and all that thundering, and all that lightning. And it's all concentrated over this one mountain, over these one mountains. It's just a concentration of all this energy in this one area. I mean, come on, man.
That's true.
You better rescind, should have rescinded what you said earlier. Like, we will be the priest. Damn, listen, we sure we want to do this? This is crazy. But our people, man, they don't know what they be signing up for. They just sign up. Yeah, I'll do it. Then they start to see things unfold, and then they get scared. Because that's what was happening here. Niggas would start to pee on themselves. Cats start getting scared and beg him up. Tell him to stop. Make it stop. Make it stop, Moses. Don't let them talk to us. We can't take it.
That's true.
But he got to talk to you. He got to tell you what to do. This is what you signed up for. This is what you said, Khan. Amen. Right? This is what you said, we will all do it in one consent. You signed up to hear, to listen, to follow, to apply. But when it gets hard, when that speech gets a little rough, it gets a little, why are you so loud? I don't like loud talking. Well, you better get used to it. Right?
Damn.
Go back. Where we at?
We're on Exodus chapter 19, verse 20.
Right?
And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount. And the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount. And Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near.
You want to let him read two?
Where's he at?
Right here.
Yeah, he can read to 20 and 11. You gotta read two?
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
You can read 20.
So read to 20 and 11.
Oh, okay, to 2011.
Yeah.
And let the priests also, which come near to the Lord, sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for thou chargest us, saying, set bounds about the mount, and sanctify it. And the Lord said unto him, away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee. But let not the priest and the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
Any questions in Exodus 19? Bob? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
Right, so remember, you got to read 25 to understand. 20, so 19 and 25. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. So this is still Moses speaking to the people, right? And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. So don't get it confused. Remember when it says in John, you have never heard his voice nor seen his shape? They never heard the voice of the Most High. It was still Moses orating in the place of the Most High. He went down off the mount and then and reiterated everything that was told to him. Go ahead.
Or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Right. Go back to verse 4. Verse 4 real quick.
Verse 4.
Because this right here be confusing people. The graven images thing. Read it.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image,
Right.
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or
Right.
that is in the water under the earth.
Right.
Thou,
So think about it. Is he saying here that you can't draw a fish?
La.
Like that's some wicked, abominable, go to hell thing to draw a fish? Isn't a fish something that's in the waters underneath the earth? So you can't draw a fish, you can't draw dolphins?
You can.
You can't?
You can.
Of course you can. Because was it about you drawing the likeness of a fish? Or drawing a plant on the earth, or drawing things and having these images? No, it wasn't about that, because everything is a graven image. When you boil down and you look at every symbol, every little thing that's on us, every little symbolism, right? You could say anything's a graven image, right? And really, when you get into a graven image, it's melted down golds and metals, and then you build some type of statue, like how they built the golden calf. Right. So can we not have statues of animals?
We can.
How do we know we can? Who else has who has statues of animals? Who we know that has statues of animals?
Solomon.
What do you have?
He had lions.
Yeah, Solomon had 12 lions leading up to his throne, right? I think they said they stood about 6 feet, or I don't remember,
Big ones.
but they were solid gold lions that just 6 on each side, right? That led up to the seat of his throne. When you look at Solomon's house, when you look at the temple he built, it was one big graven image, right? It was a beautiful. But was he sitting back on his throne, jumping off the throne and worshiping the golden lions,
La.
bowing down to the lions? No. Was he bowing down to the lily work and to the work that he did in the wood and and bowing down to the golden beams and all that stuff. The Ark of the Covenant, graven image. The mercy seat, graven image. All the different things we made for the temple would be considered graven images. When we made a 75-pound menorah
Right.
out of pure beaten gold, that was a graven image. Nobody was worshiping the menorah, or nobody should have been, right? Like, oh, it's a 75-pound solid gold menorah. We're not gonna tell you how to be praying to the menorah, right? The spoons and the dishes, the snuff dishes and the incense holders, those were all solid gold, solid silver, right? The beautiful curtains and the rods made of gold to hold the curtains up and all. Man, those were all graven images, but we weren't supposed to bow to those things.
Right.
Every single thing you wear that has a logo on it can be considered an image to be worshipped. Now, who's worshiping their clothing brand? Well, nobody in here. Nobody in here is worshiping Gucci, right? Or Dior. They out there doing that. They out there worshiping Dior, Gucci, Versace all over my body. Nike,
Yeah.
Adidas, right? Because that's all they talk about. That's their gods. We just know we understand it's clothing, and you can't get around. Even if you went with the off-brand, even off-brands have a trademark symbol. That's just that's how you recognize a brand. That's what trademark symbols were about, was to recognize and give distinction between different branding. That's all it was. But our people decide to worship it and pedestalize this brand over this brand, this brand over this brand. Listen, there was a time when you can literally go get a Gucci bag for 50, 60 bucks.
Good luck now.
Oh, good luck now. Hell no, bro. You talking about thousands.
Yep.
You ain't getting Gucci, you getting Birkins. Birkin bags, right?
Yep.
10 grand. I don't even know what their logo is. I never seen their logo. I'm not privileged enough. But there was a time when Gucci wasn't that expensive, right? It became, listen, pimps used to run around in Gucci, and you know what Gucci used to be before it was like big clothing? They used to use that for car upholstery. Did you know that? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They used to upholster their cars with the Gucci print and the ostrich print. All them prints was in the cars before women were running around with Gucci bags. Pimps made those things fashionable, right? Now, how come everybody running around with the damn 4-inch platform heel with the fish inside of it?
70s.
Who's doing that? How come that ain't fashionable? Because some things are just ridiculous, right? How come everybody running around looking like Magic Don Juan with the all green everything? Everything is just green on that guy with money symbols everywhere. Why we ain't doing that? Because it ain't cool looking.
That's true.
Right? Not everything catches wind. But the point is, wasn't wrong for us. It's not wrong for you to wear a shirt that got a Nike sign on it. It's not wrong for you to wear something that has Adidas on it. It's not wrong for you to wear logos and symbols. Now you got to be careful of the things you do wear. You know, as Israelites, we ain't gonna run around wearing the Eye of Horus.
Yeah, crosses.
You got the shirt with the pyramid that got the Eye of Horus at the top. You're not gonna run around with that. You're not gonna run around with the Ankh. Right. You're not gonna run around with the cross. You're not gonna run around with skull and bones, right? Because of what that imagery.
The association.
Yeah, the association with that imagery. You're not gonna, but all of it is bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
From Nike to Reebok to Adidas, it all got some negative thing to it. Some just more negative than others. You see that?
Yeah.
Champion got their little logo, and Tommy Hilfiger got his little Roman. Tommy Hilfiger sign is the little Roman wreath. Just change it. Is it Tommy Hilfiger? Was it Chaps? Chaps and Polo or something like that. But it's like the little Roman wreath. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it. We know the Timberland the tree, right?
Right.
Hang your ass from a tree.
Yeah.
Levi's, right? What they got, the horses pulling 2 pairs of jeans apart. You know what that was? That was a nigga they was pulling apart.
Starbucks.
Starbucks got the little,
That started, right?
yeah, little goddess of whatever.
Yeah.
What is she, the goddess of coffee? I mean, am I not gonna hit Starbucks? Hell yeah, I'm gonna go to Starbucks if I need to. Bruh, if I want a black coffee, that's where I'm going.
Right.
If I ain't got time to brew one at my house. Like, we're not worshiping Starbucks.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And if you miss your Starbucks fix that day, you're not gonna die. We ain't moving like that. Right? So when we read this, you gotta take it all in the context. It's about not the imagery itself, but what you're doing with the imagery. Y'all get that? What you're doing with it. What are you bowing down to it? Because if that's the case, then trees would be wicked.
That's true.
Trees would be wicked because of Christmas. Right? Bunnies would be deemed wicked because of Easter. Y'all see that? Reindeer would be wicked. The righteous know what these things are about. The wicked turn these things and make them wicked.
Dang.
You see that? The tree ain't wicked. It's the fact that you brought gifts.
The rainbow.
The rainbow ain't wicked. It's the fact that you made it into the symbol of your homosexuality. The origins of the swastika didn't have nothing to do with Hitler. It was about peace.
It's about peace. Peace.
They took it and used that as their symbol of the Germans, right? Of the Nazi revolution, right? So those things aren't wicked. Now, am I gonna run around with anything with a rainbow on? It's hard in this day and age to have a coat of many colors, right? It's hard to have a coat of many colors. It'd be dope.
Yeah.
It'd be dope if we could have our colors, right? It'd be dope if we could all roll up one Passover and just listen. We're gonna do the coat of many colors this year, right? And we get a design and it got all the different colors of the rainbow, the yellow, the bro.
I had to be a follower on that one.
Huh?
If I do it, I do it.
You said what?
I said I had to be a follower on that one.
No, but what I'm saying, it would be dope, but are we gonna do that? Hell to the no. Because you got 150 brothers sitting there with a coat of many colors. They're gonna think it's a homosexual Passover. That's what they're gonna think. We in there having a Vogue walk
Oh,
man.
from the outside, right? Because of what the rainbow is associated with. But the rainbow ain't wicked.
Yep.
It's wicked people that took it and used it for their wicked. Now, do we worship the rainbow? Like once we get our rainbow back, right? When the Most High destroys this place and He gives us the rainbow back, we gonna be sitting in our houses. Rainbow, Skittles, right? Purple, red, purple, green, yellow. Hell no.
Yeah.
We gonna know that's what it is. Is the moon wicked? The sun wicked? No, they're not wicked. Wicked men worship those things and turn the image of those things wicked because of what they do. Right? So go ahead, read on.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. For in the 6th day the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Verse 12.
Any questions? No? Okay. Nothing online. Let's see.
Oh, I got one.
What's that?
On The one where it says to hold his name in vain, how is that like, how is that?
Where you at? Thou shalt not use the Lord's name. Thou shalt not,
Verse 7?
Yeah, verse 7. Yes, sir.
right. Let me make sure I explain this one right. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. It's like, I don't want to get the two mixed up. You know how people swear, people swear, like swear in the Lord's name.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like you put in the Most High's name in something, or using His name, and you don't have to use His name, right? It's like you're like what there was something we used to say growing up. Oh, they say it now.
Yeah.
On God. That was like a big thing on the internet. They'd be saying like on God, right? They put everything on God. Like they'd be doing the most negative thing. They talking about on God, right? But you're using the Most High's name, but for why? Why are you using it without any? When you do something in vain, right? There's no substance to it. There's no reasoning behind it. You see that? So he was letting us know, don't use His name in vain. First of all, vain repetitions. When you go to Matthew's 6,
5 verse 33.
what does Matthew 5:33 say?
It says, again, ye have heard that it had been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself.
Right. That's talking about swearing on God. Right. But I was talking about in Matthew 6 where it said the Pharisees would do vain repetitions, and they'd throw the Most High's name in their vanities and in their vain repetitions. It's things like that. That we don't, you don't gotta repetitively use the Most High's name in anything.
Right. So true.
You see that? But then you don't have to put His name in negative or swear on His name. Right? Like all you gotta do is just hold to your vow, hold to the thing you're gonna say. So it's two things I'm talking about here: swearing and using that name in using that name for no purpose. You see that?
So you shouldn't basically be promising publicly, right?
No, you can promise. You can promise, right? You can make a promise. You gotta uphold what you say, right? But I don't have to make a promise and put the Most High in it. Hey, I need a ride tomorrow. Can you pick me up? Con, right? He don't gotta come back like, Con, I'll pick you up. I swear to God, I'll do it. Like that ain't needed. Just be there. Like
The word is
right. You ain't gotta do all that. Like I swear to God that I'll be there for what?
right.
You ain't gotta do all that. Just let your yea be yea, your nay be nay, and uphold your vow. It's that simple. But see, we think if we put God on there, or if we put God's name in it, that's gonna give whatever we're doing or whatever we say we're gonna do is gonna validate it more.
Right.
You actually put yourself in the crosshairs. Think about how many people is on my mama, or I put it on my children. You put things on your mama and then she gets shot. Remember, step on a crack, break my mama's back. Right. Things like that. You say things with these vain, these vain, like vain speaking. Bro, the Most High said he'll hold us accountable for every idle word. Right? Idle words and vain words are the same things. Y'all see that? So you're gonna have to hold account. Why you put the Most High's name on that? Or why you using the Most High's name in that? We're gonna be inquired of. Right? So we can't swear to God. We can't do those things. You don't have to. You don't have to. Let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. If I ask you a question and you say you're gonna do something, then guess what? Your word is your bond. I'm gonna have to take your word for it until you break your word. Then we inquire. You see what I'm saying? That's how we're supposed to do things.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Right. When we use prayer, use not vain repetition as the heathen do. Right. Yeah, that vain repetition in Matthew 6 and 7, because they thought they was going to be heard for their much speaking, but they do it in church. All the chanting, oh God, you know, they do it in church. They do a lot of religions do chantings. They chant, thinking that they're going to be heard more of their God.
Right.
And they put their God in things that he don't need to be in. Yeah.
Right.
Where we at?
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right. The scriptures say this is the one commandment with promise. Because that's what it's saying. Honor your father and your mother, and your days will be prolonged. What does it mean to honor your father and your mother? Who knows? Daniel plays pre-order for
Elijah, I'm sorry.
What?
To listen to them.
But what if they tell you what if they tell you that God is not real? Then it's okay to eat pork. You eat pork?
No.
All right. See, we're in this generation that we're in, we're not gonna honor our direct mothers and fathers because they didn't teach us the word. We're honoring our mothers and fathers of our ancestors, right? We gotta jump back a few generations. Now, our children, right, like Elijah, Noah, the way they would honor their mother and their father is to do what we're doing. Is to hold fast to what they're being taught and then move forward in that, right? So how would Elijah honor his father? How would Noah honor his father? Well, they would become like any child honors their father, they carry the mantle, right? So instead of wanting to go out there and be pimps and players, little pimps and players, they'd say, no, I want to be a priest like my dad. I want to hold a standard like my dad. I want to teach like my dad. That's what they would do to honor us. The problem is my dad ain't no priest. Your dad ain't no, right? Our parents didn't grow us up in the truth. So you're not really honoring them. You got to honor the ones that came before them.
Right.
You see that? Now, why am I bringing that up? Because do we still respect our elders and our family and our parents? I still respect my mom and my dad. I still got respect for them. They call, I'm respectful with them.
Right.
You know, you can still have respect for your mother and your father, even if they don't believe what you don't believe, even if they don't believe in your belief. My mom and dad don't believe in what I believe, and guess what? I can still have a convo with them.
That's true.
I do just what Moses did, right? And guess what they try to do? What is moms and dad always trying to do, no matter how old you are?
Correct you.
They try to always correct you and give you advice, right? And me, I'm like, I get it. I get it. They're going to be parents until the day they die. You can't take that from them. And I ain't going to be like, well, y'all are whack. Y'all can't tell me nothing because y'all didn't teach me the Bible. Who does that?
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
I'm going to understand that, okay, the things you're trying to teach me, do they line up biblically? And if they don't, then I have to not use those things, but find the biblical angle.
Right.
That's it. And I'm going to argue with them about it like, well, you're not teaching me nothing biblically. You know, they know my stance on certain things. We don't argue about that, right? They come with their little advice on things, and I'm like, cool. I'm glad we have this relationship. I'm glad y'all feel like me at 40, y'all can still try to chip in. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I'm like, cool. It's all good. But
They don't mean no harm.
yeah, they don't mean no harm. They're just parents.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're a parent. Don't you find yourself parenting at every moment? Even when you're trying not to, you're like, damn, I'm being a dad again, right? It's natural. You see something with your kids, and what do you want to do? You want to try to get them on the right course, or give them the right advice, or give them the right experience, Say, right? Your daughters, same thing, right? You're always gonna parent, right? No matter how old you get and how old they get, they're always your children.
Yep.
Right? My children are always gonna be my children. I don't give a damn how old I get.
Right.
I could be 100 years old. You're still my son. What's that?
My oldest daughter is 29, and she was having to explain to my middle daughter, is 25, and mom is just your mom. She's gonna keep explaining stuff and, trying to tell you stuff. My 25-year-old, she's always telling me something. I was like, I don't know how not to tell you. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
because
what I'm supposed to do.
what they don't realize is, and it's something that we've strayed away from being in America and throughout all these societies. Remember, Isaac wasn't no little ass boy when Abraham was walking him to be sacrificed. He wasn't no 5-year-old. He was a grown ass man. Let's get that straight. He was grown. Okay, he was grown enough to know what was going on. Right? But he was still being led by his father, who was an old man, but he was a grown man also. When you look at the relationship of Moses and Joshua was significantly younger than Moses, but Joshua was being led by Moses, right? And Joshua became a man in them 40 years. Remember, he walked 40 years with Moses. So if he was at least 20 when they left Egypt, and then they get out of the wilderness 20, 40 years later, he's 60 years old. How the hell can Moses tell a 6-year-old man anything? But it didn't run like that. We wasn't on that. Why was Jethro able to school Moses? Well, for one, he had the age on him. He had the experience on him, right? We didn't look at, now you're too old to tell me stuff. We looked at age as, wow, that qualifies you more to tell me things. You got more qualification. Oh, he got on them great. Oh, man, look, man, what you got to say? Right? Because the scriptures tell you about that hoary head, the gray ears.
Right.
That was supposed to be the experience and wisdom.
Right.
Not always, but for the most part, in our upbringings and things, we didn't disannul old people because they were older. Like, oh, you old and you don't know how to work Snapchat, so you can't tell me nothing. Like, I said something the other day and my kids looked at me like, you can't use those words. And I'm like, what? So I can't sound cool? See, my kids is trying to understand they got the coolest 40-year-old dad ever. They don't get it. They don't understand that at my age, I remember my pops at 40, he was not doing physically the things that I can do at 40. At 40, I can still go play ball with him. I'm pretty sure by the time I hit 70, I'll still probably be able to play ball. I think, right? I think. But there's things that I can physically do with my kids that, bro, my generation before me and before them, they wasn't doing a damn thing, right? What if your parents, let's see here. What does it mean? Okay, verse 11. We'll get to verse 11. But they don't understand how cool I am. And I use certain words, they're like, you can't say bussin'. I can't say that? But they look at me like I can't say. I'm like, well, stop using our words then, right? Stop using all the slang we say. Well, what do we say? Everything. Y'all took everything that we say. But the point is, going back to the point, the way they honor us is to uphold the standard. To be upstanding citizens, upstanding young men and women. Try to tap more into that spiritual side and not be victims of the world, right? The way we honor our parents is to do the same, and it's going to honor them because people are going to look at us like, okay, you were raised correctly, right? But we're really honoring the forefathers that came before because we're upholding the word. And in that, we're still respecting our elders, respecting our mothers, our fathers. The kids just forget that they're kids. They're going to be kids in our eyes always. They're going to always be our baby, right? They're going to always be our little cute bundle of, right? In my eyes, my kids are all 1 year old. They all don't know how to talk. They can't feed themselves. They can't clothe themselves. They still need me to wipe their butts. That's in my eyes, right? That's not real though. In reality, they're getting old. right? They got emotions, they got feelings, they got wants, they got needs, they have thoughts, they have ideas, they have individuality. They don't want to be around me sometimes. Like, I get that. There was a time when he was inseparable with me. Right now, he's like, bruh, hell nah. I'm trying to not be around you. Right? Mana shot a little one. Everywhere I go, this guy just wants to be there. And I'm like, let me soak this up. Because when he starts to understand and you know, he gets around the other kids and then he's like, bruh, I'm up. I'm out of here. I ain't dealing with you. Right? I get that. Like, I'm getting that. Yep. You know, even the littlest one, the warrior, my rib, like, you don't like being around her because she's a girl. I'm like, no, I like being around her, but you're here. So I'm gonna let you get all that. When you get back to work, then I'll develop my little relationship and watch. Right. She ain't gonna never want to deal with you. She gonna want to be all up on me. So I'm trying to give you your time. You know, but I get it. You know, we just hope that in teaching and putting all the right things in their minds from early and putting them in the right situations around the right people, that they'll honor us and follow our footsteps. You know, train up a child in the way that he shall go when he's young, he shall not depart. Like, that's the hope. Does it always work out like that? Nah, you're going to have dishonorable children, right? You're going to have dishonorable children that are going to make a choice to do what they want. Sure. And it may not be the right choices, but the Bible is telling us, honor your mother and your father, so your days are prolonged. What does it mean to be hallowed in verse 11? Talking about the Sabbath. Verse 11, Exodus 20 and 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all them, and in them is, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Well, to hallow something, it means to set it apart from all the other days. It just means that day was a set apart day, right? The Sabbath wasn't your regular run-of-the-mill day. It was a day where you were supposed to, if any days, the Sabbath was the day where I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with my rib. I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to fight with people. I'm not going to be contentious. I'm going to try to put all my mind and all my strength on the Most High. I'm going to try to put all my mind and all my strength on the brothers and sisters around me, right? And not in arguing, not in fighting, not in lust, not in passion. You know, you weren't supposed to deal with your wife on that day sexually. You weren't supposed to. Go there real quick. Go to Isaiah. Go to Isaiah, what is it, 58? 58, right? Go there real quick. Go to Isaiah 58:13 real quick. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 58 verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath,
right,
from doing thy pleasure on my holy day,
right,
and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy
right. You see, the way we honor, you see there how it goes back into honoring? How do we honor the Most High? Right. Well, one of the ways is to turn away from doing your own pleasure and finding delight in that. See, a lot of us don't find delight in sacrifice. He said to honor him is to find delight in the Sabbath, but not doing you. Right? Go ahead, read on.
Doing thy own way,
right?
Nor finding thy own pleasure.
Go ahead.
Nor speaking thy own words.
Right, you weren't even supposed to speak your own words on the Sabbath. So that arguing that we do on the Sabbath, say that for Monday. Say that for Sunday. Right? Think about it. You got Taco Tuesday, you got Meatloaf Monday. What happens on Wednesdays? What's on Wednesday? Meatloaf Monday, Taco Tuesday. There's something on Wednesdays, right? Hump day. It's hump day. You got free ladies' night Thursdays, right? So you got Friday night is the Sabbath, man. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown was the Sabbath, right? You weren't supposed to be worried about Taco Tuesday, Meatloaf Monday, it's hump day. right? Football Sunday, right?
That's true.
You got all these things that are denoted for these days. The Most High just asked for one of those. The Sabbath, right? The seventh day, the Sabbath.
Right.
So it was supposed to be a set apart day from all your other days, the things that you were supposed to be doing, right? Really, the Sabbath was the day. Go to Leviticus 23 real quick. The Sabbath was a day of unification for Israel, not of separation. The fake Jews got that twisted. That's why y'all remember back, I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember growing up in New York, and every winter on a Sunday, man, you'd always hear these news stories that all these Jews be burning up in their apartments, trying to use hot plates because they didn't want to light a fire on the Sabbath. Yeah, it would happen every winter. It would happen every summer, but mainly in the winter. They didn't want to turn the heat on in the house. They'd turn up the little space heater or use a little hot plate, leave it on, burn the whole damn house down. And it's mainly the fake Jews because they think they're keeping the Sabbath that way, right?
Damn.
Leviticus. Oh yeah, Bakar knows. Bakar, tell him Bakar. Bakar knows. Man, listen, you hear them stories in New York all the time. Fake Jews burning up because they're using hot plates because they don't want to warm up. They don't want to kindle a fire in their habitation.
What?
Yeah, that's how retarded they are.
God.
Right? And they in their house not gathered together. But Leviticus 23, read it real quick.
What verse?
1.
Leviticus 23 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord,
Right?
which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation.
Right, a convocation, the act of assembling by summons. You have been summoned to this feast weekly. That's what the Sabbath was about. It was a weekly convocation, a weekly gathering. What? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Even these are my feasts.
Right?
6 days shall work be done.
Right, so 6 regular days. Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
Go ahead.
And holy convocation.
Right, it was a holy gathering. It was a hallowed day because this was really the only day during the week besides the other feast days that you were summoned to come together. Y'all see that? And Mr. B, hopefully you see that. So that's what it means about it being hallowed. It was just a set apart day for us to gather weekly and be amongst one another and take your mind off of the 6 days of stress, the 6 days of sin, the 6 days of you having to go sacrifice for your sins, and the 6 days of you sowing your fields, and the 6 days of you having to reap and you know your workload. It was about you taking a load off and looking on the things of others and not the things of yourself. All right. So hopefully that answered that. What if your parents does mean harm? What if your parents do mean harm? Is it okay to separate from them? Well, now that goes into a lot of different technicalities because remember, there is a law of the Bible, then there's a law of the land. Now, what does the law of the land say with minors? Right? If you're a minor, you're still under the control of your parents, unless you're emancipated,
Right.
or unless you're not a minor anymore. If you're a grown child, if you're a 21-year-old person, still under the control of your parents, and they're doing harm, then yes, you definitely separate. But what does a 9-year-old do? What does a 10-year-old do? What does an 11-year-old do? What does a 12-year-old do? They're under the rule of their parents.
True.
And I mean, again, this is I should have asked more questions, but harm, what type of harm? Like, there's many harms. Are you talking like, you know, some type of abuse? sexually, mentally, they're like, we don't advocate for anybody to keep themselves in those situations. If there's children out there, if you out there and there's some type of abuse like that, you better say something to somebody.
Gone.
Mental, sexual, not because they got you doing chores. That ain't abuse, okay?
It's true.
Oh, they make me do dishes. They make me sweep. Tough luck. Because you come to my house, you sweeping too. You come to my house, you there long enough? Don't spend all that at my house. You're gonna be doing some dishes, man. Because Naomi, because your pa and them, they gonna bamboozle you out of their chores. They gonna bamboozle you into helping them. That's why, right? So it ain't chores. Oh, he makes me empty the trash, so he's abusing me, and that's harm. You know, there's different harms. You know, chores ain't harm, but obviously if there's sexual, physical, then that child has to speak up and get out that situation.
Right.
You know, but yeah, there's a lot of levels on that question. There's a lot of things to go into on that, but you know, think about it. What's going on with the ones that got no knowledge, the things that they got their kids out there doing?
It's true.
Ain't it harm to teach your kids about Christmas and make them celebrate it?
Gone.
Hell yeah, that's harm. Isn't it harm for your kids to do all these holidays and all these rituals? Of course it's harm. You know, but the Most High has mercy. So those children that don't have the control over themselves, the Most High is not judging them harshly. You know, think about it. You get raised doing Christmas like most of us were, right? Yeah, there's some lashes that are associated with it, but the Most High is not judging you harshly for you celebrating Christmas because your parents taught it to you.
Right.
You see that? He's not doing that. But the judgment comes when you know better. He that knoweth to do the master's will and prepared himself not. He's beaten with many stripes. So you know to do better, and then you don't do the opposite. You're going to catch that. Then you teach your children, they going to catch that.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So, yeah. But if you're old enough to separate from your parents, then do it. If the harm is some type of physical abuse, sexual, mental, they treating you like Cinderella and they just got you cleaning. Cinderella wasn't abused. They had her doing chores and the other ones were just lazy.
Gone.
Right? But if it's something else going on, then yeah, you got to speak up. Where we at?
We're actually at Exodus chapter 20 and verse 13.
Right?
It says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Right. Thou shalt not. It's not, the word is not kill.
Right.
It's thou shalt not murder. Loose translation.
Gone.
Right? To ratazak. Ratazak is murder. David killed. Right? David killed. He didn't murder. He killed in the constructs of war. He had to kill. David killed his, what did it say? Saul killed his thousands. David killed his tens of thousands, right? David killed. He had blood on his hands, but he wasn't a murderer. Joab, who killed Abner, he was a murderer. Because he came up on Joab, whispered a few things in his ears, and hit him between the two ribs, right? Unknowingly. Joab was a murderer for that. Cain was a murderer. He wasn't a killer, he was a murderer. He murdered Abel. There's a difference, right? You got to kill, self-defense, right? If you got to defend yourself and you happen to hit a cat so hard he turns into juice, you hit him so hard he just explodes, and you kill him, that's self-defense. You didn't murder him. Murder is usually what? How do we know the difference between murder and you killed someone? Huh? Right, the intent, the premeditation. Right. That's why you have murder. They say murder in the first degree. You got first degree, second degree, third degree murder. Then you got your first degree manslaughter, second degree manslaughter, third degree manslaughter. Right. You got vehicular manslaughter. You have, and those are in the different degrees. And those are dependent on If you got drugs in your system, the circumstance. If you go commit a crime and somebody dies, they consider that murder. They put that as a murder one. But if I'm driving down the street and like old boy that the brother the Israelite cat from I think he's from Colorado, or he was driving through Colorado and his truck brakes failed and he killed all those people.
Oh yeah.
They hit him with like the highest degrees of manslaughter.
Yep.
They didn't give him murder because you couldn't premeditate your brakes going out, right? But they gave him manslaughter, which still carries some years somehow, right? So you have instances of murder, you have instances of manslaughter or someone being killed by accident. The scriptures say, don't be a murderer. Thou shalt not murder. You see that? Meaning premeditate. Watch. Go to Matthew's. Go back to Matthew's 5. Let's understand why. Was it about the murder? Thou shalt not murder? It was something way more than just murdering. Because what leads you to want to murder a person? Matthew's, y'all got it? It's Matthew's 5. It says it. You heard from the old time, thou shalt not murder? Matthew's 5 and verse 21. Is it what, 21? Yeah.
Found it. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 21.
Read.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time,
Right.
thou shalt not kill,
Thou shalt not murder.
thou
Right.
shalt not
Go ahead.
murder, and whoever shall murder shall be in danger of the judgment.
Read.
But I say unto you
Go ahead.
that whosoever is angry with his brother,
Right. See, Yahushua had to dial it back a few steps and show where this murderous intention comes from. It comes from anger. It comes from being grudgeful, holding on to grudges, not forgiving. So he said, if thou be angry with thy brother, go ahead.
without a cause,
Right.
shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother,
Right.
shall be in danger of the counsel.
Right. It's almost like you blow a man off. Like, man, get away from me. You worthless. Right? Because that man is coming to do what? More than likely, try to come to you to deal with the situation, and you just like, man, you ain't worth my time.
Damn.
You just stiff arm, man. Get up out of here. I ain't trying to hear that. Get away from me. Right? You know how some people do that? Like, I'm good. I ain't trying to hear all that right now. And nothing gets resolved, but they hold on
Yeah, they keep it.
to that resentment.
Yep.
This is what it's showing us about killing. It starts here first. It starts here first with holding those grudges, holding that resentment, not wanting to hear a person out, not giving the situation a time to air out and hear the different sides. You know how many things happen just based off of misjudgment? How many family feuds there are in this world that cat's been holding on to from generation to generation, and all it was a misunderstanding or something that happened coincidental, and cooler heads never prevail to at least just hear the situation out and look at it from a different perspective.
Yep.
Because they didn't want to follow Matthew's 18. Go to your brother. And in order to forgive him, you got to hear him out. But this right here, he's saying, listen, this person ain't trying to hear their brother out. You just cast him as a fool. You cast him off as a I'm not trying to deal with you. Go ahead.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Right. Because at the end of the day, man, you cast a person off and don't want to hear him out or give us a situation a chance to be aired out. You're going to hold on to those feelings of resentment and hate. What's that?
I was gonna say, like, as far as the law concerned, when stuff happens, like say an incident happened, and they usually judge you according to the time span between the incident and whenever it happens.
You
If they
talking
look at,
which law?
like
talking about?
murder, as far as murder.
Oh, like in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere. They
Okay.
judge you between the time the span of the incident happened and when the murder took place, because
Okay.
they figured you had time to think about
Right,
this,
right.
kind of
Yeah.
what you did.
Who was this? The first when they started investigating. You're right. Who was it? Did he have enemies? Okay, well, when did that? You're right. When did that situation happen? Oh, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Damn, he killed him 3 months later. Like, oh, he premeditated that.
Yeah.
He sat on them feelings. He let that fester. He planned out. And he might have plotted and planned. They go through all that investigation, and that's how they come up with their different degree. Like the cats that killed the brother Aubrey,
The white man?
the white father and son that
Yeah,
killed him.
they cornered him?
Yeah, they hit him with they got murder charges, but not murder in the first degree because it wasn't. First of all, they got imprisonment charges. They hit him with imprisonment because they chased him down.
Mm-hmm.
They hit him with. Then they got hit with manslaughter in a certain degree. They got hit with murder in like the fourth or like the lowest degrees of murder because they didn't literally sit there like, you know what, tomorrow at this time we're gonna drive down the block, chase him down, corner him, and shoot him, right? But they did have time to stop the truck, not chase him, not follow him, not film it. They had a chance to rescind their actions.
That, though. That was
They definitely, well, it wasn't, it was coordinated.
Because
but
they,
it-
were on, they said they were on phones talking.
Well,
they were talking
well,
to each
yeah,
other
but this is the
before
thing.
guy off.
It was coordinated, but it wasn't premeditated in the way of, I'm gonna sit here and plan this out days in advance. Remember, they didn't know him. They didn't know him. They never met him.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So
But once they had him cornered, they had time to.
they had time, right? That's the thing. That's why the charges. That's why they got hit so hard and convicted because once they start chasing them in the truck, it's now a situation of self-defense. Now it's you're chasing somebody in a truck, they're running. I would run too. That's what they were saying. Like chase anybody that don't know you in a vehicle, they gonna run, and you keep chasing, they gonna keep running.
Yeah.
Then when you hop out with a gun, either they gonna run or they're gonna stand their ground. And that's what it looked like it happened. They ran up on him. He turned around like, yo, and then he shot him in the stomach because he grabbed the gun. He held the gun and he got shot in the belly. But that's why they got hit with so many charges and the level of charges because it wasn't like they mapped out how they was gonna kill him and wrote it in a dossier, right? And had a manifesto. Like I'm on February this day, I'm gonna go out and shoot a nigga. They didn't do that, but they did have enough time to think and say, wait a minute, let's not hop out with the gun. Who the hell just hops out their car with a gun? Even when the cops do that, that's wrong. When they just hop out of the car and they got the gun out, they come into question because your first thought is not to unholster your weapon in every situation. So they get questioned for that. But for a regular citizen to do that to another citizen, it's like, who the hell are you? You see? So just showing you the different levels. But going back to this murder, especially amongst our people, think about it, man. A lot of the murders that happen amongst our people a lot of it is ignorance, but a lot of it is hatred for that man or that woman, or they did something, or they did that, or they did this. And I'm gonna sit on that, and I'm gonna catch you later. I'm gonna catch you later. I don't know if y'all see what's going on in the Bronx, in New York. It is like the wild, wild west out there in the last week. It's crazy. Y'all heard about the little girl that got shot in the face? Yeah. They got it on video, man. One dude is chasing another dude down the street, and he's just busting. Bop, 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 bop. Bullet flies through. The little girl and her mom were waiting on the dad. They double parked. They was waiting for the dad to come out the store, and the bullet went right through, hit her in the cheek, came to the back of her head. I think she's still in, like, critical ICU. That happened. The day before, a cop got shot wrestling with another man for the gun, shot him in the leg, pop. Something else happened night before last. It's been like 5 nights in a row of just straight gun violence. People getting killed.
Damn.
The woman that got stabbed 13 times. I talked about that the other day. That happened in the Bronx. Yeah,
That was his boyfriend.
That was her boyfriend?
They said that was her boyfriend. I was listening to it, something about her boyfriend, that she had broke up with him.
No, you talking about the girl out here that got shot 22 times.
That was, okay.
That was her boyfriend.
Okay.
In the Bronx, these two men just ran up on this woman and started beating on her. And while one is punching her, the other one is just stabbing her.
God dang.
Stabbed her 13 times and just left her. That happened in the Bronx like a week ago. But ever since then, it's just been day after day killing. Because they got a lot of gang, what was it? 16-year-old shot a cop while they were wrestling, right? The gun just went off, shot the cop in the leg. They said that 16-year-old was like a damn notorious killer out there. I'm like, he's 16.
Yeah.
But those be the ones out there. Them 16-year-olds,
Stacking up bodies.
yeah, they got bodies. Them niggas is gremlins for real.
Menace to society.
Yeah, bro, but it's on an all-time high. You know, but those you go into a lot of those, like the one that got killed in the Bronx a year ago. They got the trial going on. Remember the little boy that got stabbed up? The little Dominican boy that got stabbed up and he ran into the corner store, he ran into the bodega, and they chased him in there and they were stabbing him up with the machetes.
Damn.
Bro, they killed him thinking that he was somebody else. And they literally stabbed this boy up, these grown-ass men.
When they thought he was messing with his sister or something like that.
But it was a mistaken identity. They started,
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual backstory was. I just know when it boiled down, it was all mistaken identity.
God, I think I remember that.
Yeah, bro.
He was chasing somebody that he thought was messing with his sister.
Yeah,
The wrong
and they
guy.
chased him into that bodega and they chopped him up, bro, with machetes.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, but think about the hate you have to have in your heart just for life to machete somebody.
It's true.
Like,
Because you're up on.
bro, I could barely cut the umbilical cord of my kids. Barely cut the umbilical cord, and you think that I'm gonna machete someone to death? Bro, that's insane.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I could barely cut the umbilical cord with the scissors. Me and Shaddai were talking about that last night. You know, he had his baby. He was like, man, I was so scared to cut the cord. I'm like, yeah, but that cord is thick as hell. It's like, you'll never get through that. And you can hear the skin cutting. And I'm like, oh, just getting queasy cutting the cord. Listen, when they did the C-section to my rib, and I'm behind some little whack cloth, I can hear the forceps and all. I can hear it cutting skin. And I'm sitting there like, they're really doing this right now in front of me. I couldn't see it. And then when I made the mistake and turned and looked, oh my God, it was the worst. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. I don't like blood. But let's say they got the brother that cut his girlfriend up in pieces in the apartment and put him in bags and she was missing. That 50-year-old boy killed his mom and his little brother. Yeah, the 50-year-old boy that killed his mom and his little brother.
Wow.
And then went and shot his pops. That nigga been bugging out though, because he tried to do that before. They should have never let him in the house. But the hatred you gotta have to kill your own mom, he just stood over her and shot her.
It's true.
The hatred you have to have for a person, the dude that shot old girl out here 22 times. It said 21 of those bullets went into her back. So he shot her, she fell, and then he stood over her, and I'm like, what clip you got that's long, that got that many bullets?
Reloaded.
So he shot her, reloaded, and shot her some more? Or something like that, a semi. I'm like, come on though, bruh.
It's like 2 clips.
We gotta understand where these murderous intentions come from. A lot of it is the grudging and the hate that we have in our heart for ourselves, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then we toss that out to the people around us. All right, so jump back. I definitely want to do a little class on just, I was thinking about it, just these the times that we're in. We're like in a time of death, man.
You ain't lying. It's murder all around us.
Bro, it is murder and death.
Yep.
Look at all the celebrities that have died in the last week, right? Or in the last 2. You got celebrities dropping left and right. Sidney Poitier, he died. Betty White, she died. Like the head of Vogue, the black dude, he was gay as hell, but he was like the head of Vogue magazine. not the head, but he was like something big in Vogue magazine. He died. Who else?
Regina Smith, I think that's her name, the actress, they were just saying her son committed suicide.
Wow.
6-year-old.
Regina Smith, the black girl? Yeah. Regina King's son, Regina King, son killed himself. Yeah. Yeah. Regina King. She always played the ghetto roles and everything. Yeah, she always played the ghetto black girl. But yeah, man, that's the times that we in. So, anyway, let's jump back. A lot of hate in this world. Noah, water, please.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Verse 15. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings,
Right.
and the noise of the trumpet,
Right.
and the mountain smoking.
Right.
And when the people saw it,
Right.
they removed and stood afar off.
Right.
And they said unto Moses,
They didn't pay attention to none of the damn words that was being said. All they saw was the smoke and the noise and all that stuff, but didn't hear what they shouldn't have been doing. All they were concerned about was what? Get us up out of here. It's too loud. It's too scary. Are y'all paying attention to the words that is coming out of my mouth? Right? Obviously not.
so they didn't hear none of the commandments. All they heard was the thunderings and lightnings.
Yep. All they heard and saw was what they wanted to hear and see, the distractions.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
But Moses was speaking with them. So they wanted all that background noise to stop. They wanted the trumpets and the chariots to chill. But why was that necessary? Trumpets, chariots, angels. Well, because Israel needs a sign. Israel needs a sign to see that, okay, the Most High is here orchestrating all this. They need a physical sign. They needed that sign, but instead of looking at the sign and saying, man, the Most High is here commanding this, they were more like, well, the sign is hurting us. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your face, and
Right.
that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. And that's it. We're going to be going to,
That's it?
you want me to finish it up?
Where you at?
Verse 23.
Yeah, read it. Who calling me from New York? 347-288.
We can go ahead and finish it up. Verse 24. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me.
Wait, where you at?
Oh,
20 and what?
20 and 23.
No. And where you at? Because
Okay.
it's going to continue next week.
Okay. All right.
Wait. You're at, oh, I'm in Leviticus. I'm looking like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Okay, Exodus, right?
Right.
Right. So where we jumping out? Where we jumping over to
We're
now?
going to jump over to Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 1. Right?
Yeah, Isaiah 6 and 1. Pardon me for the coffee, y'all. You know how you feel like something just kind of dirty air gets in your throat? Like a patch of dirty air hitting. Wow. Where we at?
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1.
Right. So I like this Isaiah. We talked about this last night, actually. And really, what you got to understand about Isaiah 6 is that, start at Isaiah 1 and 1 real quick.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 1.
Read.
The vision of
The
Isaiah.
what?
The vision of
Go
Isaiah,
ahead.
the son of Amos,
Uh-huh.
which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah,
Right.
Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Right. So remember, these are visions that Isaiah was getting. The 6th chapter was also a vision. He was getting, this is him getting the vision of himself being commenced to be a prophet to the people. This is the vision that he was getting. So go ahead.
Hear, O heavens.
No, jump to Isaiah 6 now.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple.
Right.
Above it stood seraphims.
Right.
Each one
which are angels. Go ahead.
Each one had 6 wings.
Uh-huh.
With twain he covered his face,
Uh-huh.
and with twain he covered his feet,
Uh-huh.
and with twain he did fly.
Go ahead.
And one cried unto another, and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts.
Right. The angels worshiping or ministering, right, to the Lord, like it tells us in Revelations. You had the heavens, then you had the throne, and then you had an innumerable amount of angels that just ministered to the Most High. That's what John the Revelator saw. Isaiah seeing the same thing. Go ahead.
The whole earth is full of his glory.
Right.
Verse 4. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone,
Right.
because I am a man of unclean lips,
Right.
and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips.
Right. You know, the thing with Isaiah in his time, and like I said, we talked about this yesterday. Isaiah was in a time with the people where they thought they were good with the Most High. You had Judah, right? Benjamin, Levi. They thought they was on point, holier than thou, right? They thought they was that the way they were doing things were on the up and up, and Isaiah was going to be sent to the people to prophesy the destruction, to prophesy that Assyrian kingdom coming through and destroying. You see that? Because if they were so good, why would they have to be corrected?
That's true.
But what is Isaiah recognizing about himself before he could be sent out to the people? That he had to be cleaned up.
Right.
See, a lot of men, this is you know why I like it? Because Isaiah had to realize that, wait a minute, I can't be a hypocrite. I can't go out as a teacher. I can't go out as a high chief priest, such and such, right? I can't self-anoint myself as the highest or even be put in a situation and be a hypocrite.
Con.
Right? Moses, when we go back to the reading with Moses, and it said that he appointed elder men that hated covetousness, that they weren't going to pervert judgment. They weren't going to, misuse the people. Here's Isaiah saying, wait a minute. If you're going to send me to the people, I got to be cleaned up. I got to be taught again. Hebrews 5. Right? I got to be taught again. When the time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again. But he's acknowledging, wait a minute. I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell amongst people that are unclean. So what had to happen? Read.
For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts.
Right? I'm seeing the epitome of cleanliness. I'm seeing the epitome of righteousness, and I'm not to the standard. This is what Isaiah is recognizing in himself.
You know what it shows to me? It shows that we're just like him technically. We're trying to become right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are him.
Yeah,
The point is, how can you go out and teach people if you don't uphold the standard?
that's true.
How can you teach if they see hypocritical instances in you?
Right.
And are, obviously people are going to be misjudged, right, in certain instances. But if they judge you as a hypocrite, or they say you do one thing and then you do the other, you say one thing and you do the other, and it holds true, then how can you be that example? That's the point.
Right.
Isaiah recognized that. Isaiah didn't jump up like, yeah, Lord, pick me. I'm ready, cuz
Right.
I know I just did all types of wickedness and folly and foolishness,
Yep.
right?
Yep. That's true.
But I'm gonna go tell these niggas what to do. He was like, wait a minute, I'm undone mentally. Wait a minute. You sure you got the right guy? You
get
sure you can use me?
I understand. Con.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm unclean lips, right? Was it really his lips? No, your mouth, your lips talk the words. Your mouth, your brain formulates the thoughts that your lips speak. Right? What come out of you is what make you unclean.
Man.
You see that? So he's recognizing this about himself first and foremost. Watch, read on.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then flew one of the seraphims unto me,
Right?
having a live coal in his hand.
Right, a live coal, right? Like, think about a Kingsford coal, or one of the coals we light up.
Mm-hmm.
He flew over and put a coal on this man's mouth. Go ahead.
Which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar.
Right?
And he laid it upon my mouth.
Yeah, come on, think about that. You'd have burned Isaiah's mouth off. You'd have took one of these hot coals. You know how hot this is when it lights? I'm pretty sure the coal was a lot bigger.
Con.
And you gotta hold it with tongs because it'll burn your fingers off. But when this thing lights up, the heat that emanates off of this, trust me, you don't want no parts of.
Con.
So, what's he saying here? What's he saying here? Well, read on.
And he laid it upon my mouth,
Right?
and said, Lo, this hath touched my lips.
Right?
And thine iniquity is taken away.
Right. So, what is he saying? Well, did he burn his mouth with a coal? And all of a sudden he's clean? No. Go to Isaiah real quick. We're in Isaiah. Go to chapter 1 real quick. Go to Isaiah chapter 1. And I want you to read 16.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Wash you,
Right?
make you clean,
Make you what?
make you clean.
Right. What's going to wash us and make us clean? Go ahead.
Put away the evil of your doings.
Go ahead.
From before mine eyes.
Read on.
Cease to do evil.
Cease to do evil. Go ahead.
Learn to do well.
Uh-huh.
Seek judgment.
Right.
Relieve the oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Judge the fatherless.
Mm-hmm.
Plead for the widow.
Mm-hmm.
Come now.
A wicked man, a man of unclean lips, unclean thoughts, ain't thinking about doing these things. Or leaving the oppressed. Hell nah. I'm trying to do me. I ain't got time to leave nobody. I don't got time to fight for someone else's cause. Right? I'm selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm to myself. Right? I don't have the resources. I don't want to do it. Go ahead.
Come on now. Let us reason together.
That's it on that.
Okay.
So wash you, make you clean, right? How does a man clean himself? How did Isaiah get cleaned up to be able to go out and clean up others? Go to Psalms 119 and 9. That hot coal that the angel put on his lips. That wasn't a hot coal, man. Right, watch. Read Psalms 119 and verse 9.
Psalm chapter 119 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
Right. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this had touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. So you mean to tell me a coal did that? Nah. Come on, y'all. We know better, right? Remember, he's having a vision, and there's things in the vision that are symbolic. Go ahead, read.
Psalm
Yeah, read from the top.
Psalm chapter 119 and verse 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
Right?
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
Right. Wash you, cleanse you, put away the doings, the evil of your doings. Taking heed to the word. Right? Go to Jeremiah 5:14. Jeremiah 5:14.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 14. Wherefore, thus saith the Lord God of hosts,
Right?
because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire.
Right. You see that? Like hot coals. And what is that word meant to do? Read on.
And this people would, and it shall devour them.
Right. Because that wood, right? Think about it. If you like wood, that's representative of your thoughts. The word is supposed to burn away the negative and purge the impurities out of us, right? But not burn us completely away.
Right.
But if you just wood, then you're of no value. If you're just hay and stubble, you're of no value. And if the word comes along and purges and your whole being is purged, then there's a problem. The trial of your faith that is much more precious than gold, though it be tried with fire. Right? It wasn't supposed to burn it completely away. It was supposed to remove the imperfections. Because that's what the word does.
Right.
Go from there. Go to Jeremiah 23 and 29. I'm going through this so we can understand that what was Isaiah dealing with? Before he can go out there and be a voice to the people, he had to realize that, wait a minute, I need to be cleaned up too. This is something that a lot of men in Israel do not want to take heed to. They don't want to clean and go through the trying and go through the purging. Then when they get out there as an elder, a leader, a teacher, a priest, a rabbi, whatever the hell title you want to take. Right? And if those things that we talk about in Timothy's 3 are still in you, the covetousness, the hatred, the murmuring, the biting, the backbiting, the striking, the drunkenness, the whoremongering, then who are you going to teach that to?
That's true. Your next flock.
Your flock. And then instead of having a nation of priests and kings, we got a nation of whores and pimps.
That's true.
Pimps and hoes in Israel. And how does that look?
Damn.
But that's what we're continually faced with. So read Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 29.
Read.
Is not my word like as fire,
Right?
saith the Lord?
Go ahead.
And like a hammer,
Right.
that breaketh the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophet, saith the Lord,
Right?
that steal my words, every one from his neighbor.
Right. That's it on that. It's not my word like a fire, like a hot coal.
Damn.
Right? Dylon, and Dylon. I spit hot fire. Right? Because that's what the word is. It's hot fire. It's a double-edged sword. Right? It's a hammer. It's all those things that are gonna. But it's also a band-aid.
Gone.
Right? It's a healer. It's the ointment. So it's not just one thing or the other. So jump back to Isaiah. Isaiah 6. Remember, Isaiah was acknowledging these things in himself, that he was unclean. His thought process and the things that proceed from your mind are going to go out your mouth and make you unclean. Go ahead.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 6, be verse 7 again from the top. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips.
Right.
And thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged.
Go ahead.
Also I heard the voice of the Lord, saying, Whom shall I send?
Right.
And who will go for us?
Right.
Then said I, Here am I.
Yeah, now I'm qualified. Now I'm qualified to go out there and deal with the people, because my mind has been changed. My thought process has been changed. Now I could go be an example. But you can't go out there if, like, the worst thing is when, man, I remember we were in Delaware. We went to that, was it the Martin Luther King thing in Delaware? It was last year. When did we go to Delaware? The brothers all went to Delaware. Didn't you go? Remember Gamaria? We was all at Gamaria's house. Were you there?
Lot ago.
Okay. It was last year though, man. It was Martin Luther King. We did that. And we out there, you know, we doing our flyer thing, right? And we all garmented up and trying to look like priests and be in unity and be brothers. And then you got another school there. I'm not going to say which one, but what were they out there doing? They got flyers in one hand and a bottle of Hennessy in the other.
Wow.
No lie. I'm not even joking. They was out there with flyers in one hand, barely, crumpled up, and a bottle in the other hand. I'm like, what the?
That's crazy.
That's insane. But then the killer was this. So, you know, we passing out flyers, we talking to people, and so I'm dealing with this cat that don't believe in Christ, right? Old Testament only. And he's sitting there trying to teach, and he's like, yeah, you know, my flock and this, that, and the third. Goes in his pocket and pulls out a Black and Mild. Lights it up. I'm like, wait a minute. You teach people? You got a flock? It was insane, man.
Wow.
Like, you can't teach people smelling like blunts.
That's true.
Smelling like Black and Mild. Smelling like Hennessy. You smell like fresh Hennessy and Coke, but you supposed to be teaching? You smell like fresh blunts, a sack of dirty weed, but you supposed to be a leader?
Where your wits at?
It just doesn't make sense. But see, Isaiah knew that. Isaiah was like, look, clean me up first. Mm-hmm. Before you send me out there and I'm out there looking like, just like think about it. You come up and I'm selling you get all cigarettes, but then my whole clothes smell like cigarettes.
Yep. Hypocrite.
Or not, I don't know, because I don't smoke cigarettes. That's wicked. It's ganja for me, right? So you smell like cigarettes, I smell like a fresh blunt. Mm-hmm. Who's the wiser?
None the wiser.
Who got the upper hand here?
It's true. None the wiser.
Well, mine comes from the earth. Well, so does tobacco. Well, mine don't got no filters and all. Like, you see where that goes? How you arguing about who got the purest smoke going through their lungs?
Yep.
William laugh. It's true though. It's true, man. But that's our people.
Damn.
But that's why when I hate going on Facebook, because you see all the scandal on Facebook. This brother ran with this brother's rib and did that. This leader, he took the congregation money. This brother did this. This brother called himself the comforter. This brother said that he's the voice of God. This brother said that the spirit of the truth is only with them. This brother says this brother says that. And it's like, really? So this is what you're teaching people. And then their whole congregation runs with it, and they just look like fools, man. But they're the ones out there doing what? Whoremongering. They still getting drunk. They still smoking blunts. Then they go out there and teach, and they're the ones getting into fights on the corner.
Yep.
They're the ones getting into fights and fighting each other.
That was funny as hell. But it's crazy that you say they say that because both of them got healing properties, but not if you smoke them.
Listen, there's one cat, Kazakia. Oh, it's so funny. I don't even know why we do it to ourselves. Kazakia put an article up on Facebook like a day ago. It shows to show you niggas will defend weed more than they'll defend the gospel. He put this article up showing that. Watch, I'm gonna go to it real quick because it's so funny. I'm gonna go to it real quick. And the exact same thing you said. Like, yeah, it has healing properties and the medicinal. But I'm like, how does it heal you when you gotta inhale the smoke?
It's true.
Yeah, it got healing properties, but not when you put it in a blunt in a Philly. Right? He put up the article. I can't know where Facebook is at. Let's see here. He put up the article. CNN, right? Using marijuana may affect your ability to think, plan, and plan. Study says, and he just screenshotted the video part and just threw it up on his thing, and then he put a little caption. I'm gonna tell you what he said. This is a fact. Everyone we've encountered in our school that smokes and has not beat it and has fallen weak to it, they are the most slow people in the world. It's like their mind goes back and forth when it comes to everything in life. They're not stable mentally, which is true. This is the kicker. But on the other hand, if you leave it up to them, they're the most intelligent people on earth. Why? Because in their head, they're like, the weed ain't affecting me. It ain't doing nothing to me. The funniest parts is the comments. One cat hopped on here like, you're a liar. Like, what do you lie about? It's a CNN study. See, this is you, the white man putting this out there so we can stop using the marijuana. It's like, bro, we didn't say not to use it. Stop smoking it. Stop smoking it. But then this cat was sitting here talking about how marijuana protects you from COVID. But I'm like, how do you protect yourself from a respiratory disease if you compromise your respiratory system with smoke, you monkey? You monkey. Yes, it will protect you if you boil it down. Tea. Put it in some oil and make a little, you extract the oil. Tinctures. And you do like the how they do the alchemy and they get the spirit of the plant. Right? That's where you get like the ginger drops and all that. That's the spirit. They mix it with a little bit of alcohol to bring that out. There's other ways to use it, but this nigga really thought like, yeah, I smoke it and that's gonna protect me from COVID.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like, but your whole lungs is filled with smoke, right? So, so damn alive. The comments, man, counsel defend that weed. They'll defend that weed more than defend the Bible. But then they'll be the ones trying to teach. And then what? Stumbling over the whole Bible.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, they'll have followers. They'll have niggas following them. Like, yeah, because why? We cater to eat. You cater to my filth. You cater to what I like.
That's true.
My thing is this with the ganja. Why would you even chance it? Why would you take the chance to forfeit yourself out the kingdom just for a little mental high? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even take a chance on that? Wouldn't you just leave that to the side and say, you know what? If we're gonna be smoking, we'll do it in the kingdom.
That's right.
Right? Which we're not gonna be smoking. It's just idiotic. But even that concept of respiratory disease, smoke, that doesn't get through a weed head's mind. That don't get through a weed head's mind because that'll crush their lust. The lust for that device. Right? But going back, Isaiah understood, clean me up, then send me out. Read on.
Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 8. It's going to be the last precept.
Shalom, do y'all keep the lunar Sabbath? We keep the 7-day Sabbath. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. We try to keep it simple. We keep the 7-day Sabbath. You go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. The seventh day, we do that. Go ahead. And let me say something about that. Listen, we've been keeping that as long as I've been around in the camp, almost 20 years. And the Most High has not destroyed us or anything like that for not doing a lunar Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? He hasn't decimated the camp. We ain't wicked or anything like that. We just keep it simple with what was laid down in Genesis. There is one that is wise and teaches many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. Yeah, but even in that instance, I'm gonna smell like blunts and you smell like cigarettes, and we're gonna argue about who got the more pure smoke. Who's being taught there? Nobody. This is two idiots. It's two idiots going back and forth, and you make yourself hypocritical. Crazy. The blind shall lead the blind. Yes. Yeah, man.
So true.
Like Graham, Juneteenth. Was that Juneteenth? Oh, it was Juneteenth. That's what it was. I'm like, damn, that wasn't a year ago, was it? That we was in Delaware? Because that would have been a year ago. It was Juneteenth. But either way, they was out there on Juneteenth with their camp logo with a bottle of Henny in one hand and damn flyers in the other.
Was it cold?
Huh?
Was it cold?
Nah, it was Juneteenth. It was the damn, bro, it was hot. And I remember. It was hot as hell. It's Delaware, East Coast, but it rained that day. We got drenched. The rain poured down and it was soggy out there, man. It was soggy because it kept raining and it stopped. And then everybody came out, KRS-One was out there. And the people, listen, even the event organizers, they came up to us, they were like, man, listen, we love what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? We helped break down the event. We helped put all the chairs and tables back into the library. There was a lot of things that we did just to show, like, look, we out here for the community. We out here to help. Walking around with a bottle of Hennessy and fringe checking people wasn't going to get it done.
That's true.
Why you got fringes on that? Well, because the Bible says to put it on all the vestures of your garment. Anyway, go ahead.
Then said I, here am I, send me. Verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
Right.
And see ye indeed.
Right. Just like in Sinai, they were hearing, but they didn't understand what was going on. They were seeing, but they wasn't getting it. Because we tend to pay attention to the wrong things. You're looking more at the distraction than the message. Go ahead.
But perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat.
Right.
And make their ears heavy. And shut their eyes.
Right.
Lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their hearts.
God forbid. Go ahead.
And convert.
And what?
And convert.
Yeah, God forbid you hear the words, digest it, understand it, and then be converted. God forbid. But our people rather just hear some smooth talk. Yeah, you know how it goes, man.
Yep.
We want to hear smooth speech. We want to hear it's gonna be okay. God loves us.
Yep.
Jesus is with you. Won't he do it? We want to hear those things. Live your life. It's all good, right? Just, take hey, listen, let's go get a bottle, right? Let's just drink our pain away. Let's hit the club. Let's go party. Let's take a vacation. We want to hear those things over the word. Because for a lot of us, it's not about being converted.
Right.
It's about hearing what we want to hear and staying in the filth. And y'all hear the phrase lemons to lemonade, right? Y'all heard that phrase, right? Like turn lemons to lemonade. Right. Now, lemons are sour, right? They're sour and they're not tasty. Just if you just squeeze a lemon in your mouth, it's hard to palate that, right? Lemonade is filled with what? Right. Lemonade is filled with sugar.
It is.
To make it taste good. So it's like, I'm going to add something here and something here to make this tolerable. Well, how about just not make lemonade and just go get something that's already sweet? But our people, why am I bringing that up? Because our people are so used to, instead of changing their situation, becoming comfortable in their situation. Like, how can you be comfortable in the hood? And I'm talking about like the hood projects, killing, murdering, drugs, rape, rob, stealing. How could you be comfortable in those situations? But that's what our people have tend to do. They get comfortable in the mire, in the doo-doo.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Instead of getting out the doo-doo, I'm gonna just go get me a doo-doo proof suit. I'm gonna lay in the doo-doo, but it ain't gonna touch my skin. I'm gonna still smell it, right? I'm gonna get me a mask.
Yep.
I'm gonna get me a biohazard suit so I can lay in the doo-doo. It's like, bro, why don't you just get up out of it?
Yep. Let's get away from it.
Who wants to lay in that?
That's true. That's true.
But that's the mentality of our people. I don't want to get cleaned up from the doo-doo. I'm gonna just put on a doo-doo proof suit, get an N5 mask, right? Get one of those fake N5 masks offline that don't even work. Boop. And I'm gonna just get mad because nobody wants to come sit in the doo-doo with me.
True.
Like, no, I don't want to sit over there in that. Like, I'm clean. I don't want to smell that. Look at that.
Come over here.
Yeah, you come over here. Like, no, I don't want to come over there. I like it over here in the doo-doo, in the mire. That's the problem with our people. We become comfortable in slavery, right? We become comfortable with the slave master's words. We become comfortable with the religion. We're super comfortable in America. Oh my God, niggas could buy some Bitcoin now. You know what I'm saying? They can start businesses, and it's like, this is it for our people. Bitcoin, a little startup business on your phone, right? Oh, I can rent out cars. Hey, get the hell up out of here with that. I can rent cars now to people. I can start a business on Turo. So I made it.
Yep.
Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm not trying to crush nobody's dreams. You want to start a business on Turo, go right ahead. Do your thing, boo. But the problem is, so many things are so easily accessed. Instead of changing our circumstance, we just adapt to the circumstance and say, you know what? A rose ain't supposed to grow out of the concrete, but I'm gonna force the rose to come out of a concrete.
Yeah.
You see that? It's not always a good thing. Go ahead, read on.
And be healed. Verse 11. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitants.
Right?
And the houses without man.
Right. This is the Most High letting Isaiah know that there's going to be destruction coming on the people. Go ahead.
And the land be utterly desolate.
Right?
And the Lord have removed men.
Right. How long are these people going to be like this?
Come on.
See, this is the problem again with our people. Niggas will ride in the mire until what? It starts to be destroyed. Then they're like, oh, you know what? I repent.
Yep.
Lord Jesus. Right? And they start moving around all crazy, and all of a sudden they want to give their life to the Lord. Right? Remember when what was the last thing that I remember when the coronavirus thing started. I remember when that started, and when toilet paper disappeared off the shelves.
Yep.
You know how many brothers was hitting me up that ain't talked to me and Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yashar Barakatah. Hey, who's this? Oh, this is such and such. Oh, Shalom. Yeah, I was thinking. The Most High had showed me. The Most High has shown me that, man, I got to get back in class.
Where are you at?
Oh, okay, so you must be out of toilet paper. You must be out of toilet paper. That's probably what's going on. You getting scared I can, I just got to get back. Okay, we're same place that we've been for the last 20 years. You know where it's at. Come on, huh? Then all of a sudden, you don't hear from them out. They might show up 1 or 2 classes or not at all. Then they're not around again. We back to the same brothers, the same sisters. You know how many people was hitting my line? I mean, man, it was crazy. I'm talking about here in Texas, in Colorado, this place, that place. Hey, I gotta do this. I gotta do things better. Come on, you're right. But that's our mind, and that's what it's saying. Then I said, how long? How long are they gonna be like this? Most High said until things start to be destroyed.
Damn.
That's the only time our people give any type of acknowledgement to the Lord. When he starts to take and destroy and wreak havoc. You don't give a damn about Christ and let your baby get shot. Or, oh Lord, why? That's all you hear. Lord, why? Lord, why? Lord, why? How can you even ask Lord, why before?
Yep.
Or Lord, how do I prevent this? But as soon as your son gets shot in them streets, you blaming the Lord. Using his name in vain. Hell no. Hell no. It's too late. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the Lord have removed men far away. And there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet in it shall be a tent.
Right, but yet there's still going to be a remnant of men and women that are going to uphold. Go ahead.
And it shall return and shall be eaten.
Right, and this is either after the Assyrian destruction, they would have returned back to the land, or they were never taken. See, this is going into the actual, the actual Assyrians coming in and taking the people.
Right.
That's what this is going into. Go ahead.
As a teal tree.
Right.
And as an oak.
Right.
Whose substance is in them.
Uh-huh.
When they cast their leaves, so The holy seed shall be the substance thereof.
Right.
Chapter 7 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham,
Right.
the son of Uzziah,
Right.
king of Judah,
Uh-huh.
that Rezin, the king of Syria,
Uh-huh.
and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, the king of Israel, went up toward Jerusalem to war against it.
Right. So these two cats, they had a little they call it like a Syro-Ephraimitic type of alliance where they were gonna go up, Assyrian, Ephraimite. They call it like the Syro-Ephraimite alliance. They were gonna go up and fight against Judah.
Right.
Go ahead.
But could not prevail against it. And it was told to the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim.
Right. Syro-Ephraimitic. Go ahead.
And his heart was moved, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are removed with the wind. Then said the Lord unto Isaiah, Go forth now to meet Ahaz, Ahaz, thou and Shear-Jashub, thy son.
Right. Shear-Jashub means, when you look that up, that's Isaiah's son. It means to bring back or to keep a remnant. It means, let me look real quick. Or it has something to do with either forgiveness. But again, symbolism. Watch. Isaiah chapter 6 and what?
Verse 7 and 3.
7, right? Yeah, 7 and 3. Shear-Jashub. Right. It means a remnant shall return. Symbolic name for the son of Isaiah the prophet. Right, because that was the prophecy that after we were taken, after the Assyrians would come through and destroy that, it says it in chapter 6, a tenth would either return and go back and redo things the right way. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 7, verse 3, third precept. At the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field.
Right.
Verse 4. And say unto them, Take heed and be quiet. Fear not, neither be faint-hearted, for the two tails of these smoking firebrands, for the fierce anger of Rezin with Syria, and for the son of Remaliah.
Right.
Because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah have taken evil counsel against thee, saying, let us go up against Judah, and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tabil.
Right. So you see, Ephraim was trying to get with the Assyrians to go fight with Judah, fight against Judah. Man, Ephraim. Whew. The pride of Ephraim, man. Right. Jump over to Isaiah 9. Isaiah 9 and 5. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 9 and 5. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. I'm going to read verse 2 real quick. I don't know why they started right here in the midst of the idea. I'll start at verse 2. Isaiah 9 and 2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. Thy joy before thee according to the joy in harvest. And as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden, the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressors, right? Going in about that captivity being broken up off us. Remember, this is all talking about the Syrian captivity, right? As in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel for a fire. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. I got to read this real quick. Verse 7. Of the increase of his government. See, who was the king at this time? It was Hezekiah. See, if you read this and you're like, oh, see, this is Hezekiah. Well, no, couldn't be Hezekiah because his government, watch, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
Gone.
Hezekiah died, right? Hezekiah died and another man took over for him. And what happened? Well, you had righteousness, righteous king, wicked king, righteous king, wicked king, righteous king, wicked king, wicked king. Like the peace and the judgment, it ended for a time. Then it started back up again. Then it ended. Then it started. This is letting us know it would never end. Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it. So what is that saying? Well, it's been established from David's time through David's lineage.
Right.
And to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. Right. So now, New Testament, Matthew 19 and 16. Matthew 19. Any questions on Isaiah? Before we jump to the new. Okay, Matthew 19. We read this many of time, right? Everybody should be familiar with this one. Matthew 19:16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments, right? And we just read those in Exodus. He saith unto him, which? Yahushua said, Thou shalt do no murder. See that? Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. So he's hitting them with the 10 Commandments. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Now let's think about it. What was this man saying about himself? He was what?
He was perfect.
Yeah, he was saying that I'm righteous already. I'm good. I'm holier than thou, nigga. Right? I kept this from my youth up. Who gonna tell me something? Who gonna check me, boo? That's what he was on. But Yahushua was showing him that it wasn't about just the mundane, dry repetition of doing the law, right? It wasn't just about, oh, well, you keep the Sabbath, you honor your mother and your father, you haven't killed nobody, hippity-rippity-doo.
Damn.
You wasn't supposed to murder nobody, right? Oh, you ain't covetous. Well, why are you covetous when you a rich ass dude? You don't gotta be. You don't need to be covetous,
True.
right? You don't need to steal if you have, right? You're gonna perform keeping the Sabbath, and all those 10 commandments. Those were easy for him, partly because of his circumstance and partly because of his upbringing. But guess what? I'm gonna hit you with something that's a little bit harder for you to do, or that you haven't done yet.
Right.
That's all it was. Like, okay, you did all those formal things, but look, remember this part? Remember the spiritual part, right? If that will be perfect, because you ain't perfect. If thou will be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor. And thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. Right? Why was it easy for Yahushua to say, man, sell all you have and follow me? Go be poor now.
He was already doing it.
Right. He said for our sakes he made himself poor. He was rich, but for our sakes he made himself poor. Right? So he already did that.
Right.
So you want to be a disciple of me? You want to have eternal life? Well, I have the keys to life. Remember the apostles? They said, he said, are you going to leave me? He said, whither shall we go? Where shall we go? You have the keys to life. Right? The apostles recognized it. Yahushua knew it. He was showing this man, you want eternal life? Right? You want to enter into eternal life? Well, follow me. But this is how you do it. But verse 22, but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to be an Isaiah. Isaiah was ready Isaiah was ready to acknowledge his fault and be cleaned up from his fault to go out there and be the example. This man wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to acknowledge the things that he needed to do to make himself better. That's why he went away sorrowful. Because wait a minute, I thought that having the riches and having the money and having the stature was going to make me better. I'm doing the law, but are you? Once you get past the formal, I call it the formalities of just keeping the Sabbath, right? But how are you keeping the Sabbath? That's the thing. Well, I'm keeping the Sabbath and I'm sitting in my house not doing anything. But that's not what the Sabbath says. You might start it out like that, not knowing, but then the scriptures say it's a gathering. Honor my mother and my father. Well, I do everything that they say. Well, that's not honoring them. Doing everything that they say, because what if they tell you something wrong? Right? I'm not covetous. I don't steal. Well, do you have to? Are you in a situation where you gotta steal, but then you make the conscious choice not to? You see what I'm saying? That's the question. The apostles, think about it. They was running around broke as hell. They had their little money to sell their little oils, but they was, for the most part, broke. The Son of Man have no place to lay his head, right? Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man have no certain dwelling place. So they were rolling around in uncertainty. But think about it. Who was the one that was stealing? It was Judas. It wasn't all of them. He was stealing because he was faithless. Right? The other men had to roll in faith and say, you know what? When we go to this next city, we're going to get it. When we go here, there's going to be a room prepared. Yahweh Shai, when we get into the city, go to that man over there, have him prepare the upper room. Things weren't planned out aforetime, but the apostles had to roll. But were they in situations where they needed? Of course. Remember when they had a multitude and they only had a few loaves and some fish? Right. How come none of them went out and stole fish? How come they didn't go out and steal bread? You see that? They had to be put in situations to see where their integrity was, where their character really was. When you put them in a position when you need, are you going to steal? Thou shalt not steal. Well, I've never been put in a position to have the need to steal and then fight that temptation. Well, now I'm going to put you in that situation. Now you're going to be uncomfortable. And now you're going to have to contemplate a few things. That's what this man didn't want to do. He didn't want to approve himself like it says in Corinthians. I think it's like 1 Corinthians 6. Approving ourselves as ministers through much necessities and wants and fastings and this and that. He didn't want to go through those trials and tribulations that would bring on these different moments of consciousness where good and evil, what's going to prevail? Again, it's easy to not have to steal when you're rich. That's true. It's easy to not have to be covetous when you're rich. You already got everything. People start coveting you. But what happens when you don't have it? Right? It's a task to keep yourself on point, to not get into a covetous mind state, to not look at what somebody else has and I need that. When he ain't looking, I'm gonna just swipey. Yeah, I get it. You see that? This man didn't want that. He didn't want to be put in that situation. He was like, oh, hell no. I'm comfortable. Right? I'll read on. Then said Yahweh Shai unto his disciples, verse 23, verily I say unto you that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. He's not saying it will never happen, but hardly will a rich man enter. Why? Because it was about mentality. It was about mentality. Most of the time, the rich ain't trying to give up their riches or sacrifice riches. That's what he was showing here, that this man was going to be the ones that hardly made it, that didn't make it. But there were people that, listen, there's people that got money that will make it, that will make it. Why? Because their philanthropy, their willingness to give. You know what I'm saying? Their willingness to give. Like, if LeBron James decided after his basketball career, which it should be ending here pretty shortly, because the Lakers are trash, right? If he decided that after this year, I give it up, and all the money he's making millions, and somehow he's walking through the LA streets and the brother runs up on him, Shalom, you're an Israelite, and shows him, and he's like, damn, I'm an Israelite. I'm gonna start living according to what the scriptures say. But he got all these millions, and he decides, you know what? Let me start dispersing my millions. Let me start using my millions to fund the righteousness of the truth, or let me fund whatever school I'm with. And he dies a millionaire. He can't get to the kingdom?
Okay.
Of course he can. It's what he did with the money. That's why it says hardly, because it's about a mind state, right? 24. And again, I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, right? That camel, when the eye of the needle, they come into the city, the camel would drop down, they unburden the camel, take off all the burdens, and then he would pass through that eye, right? Then for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God, I mean, how does a camel can go through that needle eye? But he said it's easier for the camel to take off all his burden, do all that, than a rich man to just walk through. Why? It's here, man. It's here. Because you got people that, think about it, there's a lot of people that got money just in this world. They don't even give a damn about their money. You can't tell they got dough. When you look at like a cat like Keanu Reeves, you know what Keanu Reeves, the nigga drives the train and eats sack lunch on set. You can't tell Keanu Reeves got money, the actor.
Yeah.
You cannot tell he got money. He looks like a typical bum. It's crazy. You got certain people that have money that don't, they just got money by proxy of what they do. It's like, you're a famous actor, you're gonna make money. But is the money defining of their character? You know, you have certain people that have the money and it doesn't define them. It doesn't define their character. It doesn't motivate them to do what they do. They have a genuine passion for what they do. And sometimes money is the byproduct. Verse 25. Check this out. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? They weren't getting it. They weren't getting it, but what they were seeing was how man operated.
Right.
They were seeing all these men with money and knowing that these niggas ain't gonna give up their riches. These men aren't gonna do what we're doing and give up the things that were considerably, or what they thought, or what they held on to as being rich. You got men that are just regular, run-of-the-mill, just regular workers, and that a little bit of a paycheck for them, that's rich. You're like, I'm rich, I'm good, I'm content, right? So what does a man look at as riches? What is riches to you?
True.
Well, the scriptures say in Matthew 6, store up treasures in heaven, right? Your riches should be spiritual treasures, your alms, your giving, your charity. Those things, moth and rust cannot corrupt.
Right.
You see that? But the things that we count as riches, the money, the gold, the cars, the clothes. I remember back in my day, I thought, when you got all them shoes and Jordans, you buying all them Jordans and all them shoes, right? I remember, man, putting money into all them shoes. And now recently, when I go put on a pair of them old shoes, put my foot in, the whole sole is separating and the shoe is breaking down. Because moth and rust corrupt those things. Yeah. All them Nikes that I got and all them clothes and all that stuff, you put them on, after a certain amount of washes, you put that shirt over your head, the whole shirt rip, fabric just degraded. Because none of that stuff lasts. Mm-hmm. But who can take away your alms? Who can take away your charity? Who can take away the things you do toward your alms deeds towards other men? Who can take that? Nobody. Who can take away the fact that you long suffered through your situation, or that you had faith through this situation or through that situation? Who can negate those things? Nobody. Nobody. Those things are stored up with the Most High. Right? Hell yeah. That's what's stored up, not how many Nikes you got or how good your car is or your bank account. Nope, Yahushua is not checking bank accounts. He ain't gonna be like, look, pull up your Bank of America app. Let me see how many zeros you got. Oh, nigga, you broke. You can't get in. Nah, bro, you ain't got enough zeros. You broke. That's all you got? Damn. How much you make a year? There's no yearly monetary, there's no yearly money amount that gets us into the kingdom. We're seeing it here. It's about what you're doing with the word. Everybody get that? Matthews, right? 26. I read 26. But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, with men, this is impossible, but with the Most High, all things are possible. So what is he reassuring them that, you know, again, it's up to the Most High. You can be rich, you can have material things and still be in the good graces of the Lord. How are you using your materials? How are you using your things? Right? Go to Esther. Esther chapter 10, right? Is there any?
Yeah.
So we're in Esther, right? Let's see. Esther. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but let me see if there's any questions. Why is that doing that? Okay. You're explaining the word of God, setting examples are great, but your personal opinion should not be expressed. It can lead others to confusion or bias. Your explaining of the word of the Most High, setting examples are great, but your personal opinions should not be expressed. Well, all my opinions are still based in the Bible. I'm not, if I give you my personal experience, that's my personal experience. I'm not saying that overrides the Bible, but how else are we to learn? Experience is experience. Think about it. When we read all these stories, we're reading about people's personal experiences and saying, okay, either we follow their experience or we don't. So if we're giving personal experiences, we're showing how the word and how the Bible has worked in our life. I'm not saying to take my personal experience and that overrides the Bible. So if that Nancy V. Cotto Fuentes, if that's what you're taking, I hope not, because that's not what we're saying, that our experiences override the word. We're bringing the word coupled with our experience of ourselves and others to further illuminate situations. That's all it is. That is it. Mm-hmm. Sure. How am I not finding Esther? It's such a small book. That's right. Yeah. Yes, sir. Esther chapter 10. So why are we reading Esther why are we reading Esther 10? Because we're going to get into the Apocrypha and we wanted to get the story in the Bible before we jumped over to the Apocrypha. Right? Whoa. Let's see something here. Damn, I think some of this. Let's see here, Esther.
It does continue.
Yeah. So we're gonna go from the Bible to the Apocrypha. Chapter 13. Oh, wow. It's all good. So this is Esther chapter 10. And the king, Ahasuerus, laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him, Are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the Kings of Media and Persia? You see that? So Media and Persia have their own book of Chronicles of Kings. So this was written in their records, this story. Y'all see that? For Mordecai, the Jew was next to King Ahasuerus and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people and speaking peace to all his seed. Part of the 10th chapter after the Greek. So now we're going to go into the Apocrypha, right? We're going to go into the Apocrypha, and we're going to finish up chapter 10 of Esther. And it tells you in the Apocrypha where these chapters are inserted. So if there was any doubt that the Apocrypha was part of the Bible, it's showing you how to insert these certain chapters, where they come after. Right? Then Mordecai said, God hath done these things, for I remember a dream which I saw concerning these matters, and nothing thereof hath failed. A little fountain became a river, and there was light, and the sun, and much water. This river is Esther, whom the king married and made queen. And the two dragons are I and Ammon. And the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews. Ammon, I'm gonna say that they changed the name, and that was Haman, right?
Yep.
Right. Remember, you got the Apocrypha was translated from Hebrew and Greek, so they just changed up the names a little bit. But the Ammon, that's actually, remember the brother that got hung, the Amalekite, right? It says he was an Agagite, right? Damn Esau, right? I'll read on. Which were carried. And my nation is this Israel, which cried to the Most High and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. The Most High hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles. See that? Same. It's funny how the same things are mirrored. What happened in the 10 plagues? Same thing. Why did Jethro give so much obeisance and piety to the Most High? Because he wasn't dealing with them like that. It was only us. Verse 11, and these two lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before the Most High among all nations. So the Most High remembered his people and justified his inheritance. Therefore those days shall be unto them in the month Adar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before the Most High, according to the generations forever among his people. Right. So did we? I didn't skip. We already read about Purim, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Remember, we're trying to read through the Apocrypha so y'all can get a little bit of that. I just wanted to start the Esther and the Bible before we jumped in here. It just wouldn't have made sense to go right from the Apocrypha. Right, Nehemiah 8:8. What's that? Nehemiah 8:8, as you said. Maybe something I had said. Nehemiah 8. Oh, right. Right. So that's it for the reading. Is there any questions on the reading?
Verse 7.
And where? Esther?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it says the two dragons, I and Ammon, who's the I referring to?
Mordecai. Right, remember Mordecai is the one that's talking here. I think when you read verse 1, right? So you read, right. Then Mordecai said, the Most High had done these things. So basically what he was doing was just recounting the whole events. He was recounting the whole, all the different events. But see, it even shows you, because if I'm not mistaken, when you read the Esther in the scriptures, they don't talk about no dragons and all that stuff, right? So he's kind of giving the breakdown of the story, all the events that happened in like a symbolic, right? And the two dragons are I and Haman, the two dragons, the two that were going against each other, right? In the nation. So obviously, I mean, there's parts that we're missing. Yeah, like when you read chapter 11. When you read chapter 11, it tells you, when you read down, you read the second verse, it says, placed in the Greek before chapter 1 of the Hebrew. You see that? So a lot of this is just kind of like they broke it up and kind of scattered it. What's that?
I got a question in Exodus chapter 20, verse 10.
What's your question?
That was from Exodus chapter 20, verse 10.
Read Exodus 20 and 10. What's your question on that?
It was like, the first part says, but
Somebody read it for
Exodus chapter 20, verse 10.
right?
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy
Right.
God.
Okay.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within their gate.
Right. What's the question?
well, it's about strangers.
Okay, tell me your question.
So it's like when you go to a person and you don't know them,
Right?
and like they say hi to you and you don't say nothing to them. Which is
No,
wrong.
you can say hi. Listen. You can say hi. Nothing wrong with that. You can be nice and respectful. Now, do you leave with a stranger, or do you go somewhere with a stranger, or sit there and have a conversation? Like, even like, for example, if I'm out, like me and Mama shop, right? We'll go to the grocery store, and he'll be walking, and people will say, they'll say hi. They'll wave to him, and I say hi. Tell them shalom. It's okay. It's okay to be a nice person, right? Somebody comes to you and says, hey, how are you doing? You don't want to be a rude person and just ignore them, but you don't want to be too nice. And next thing you know, you're leaving with that person.
True.
You see that? So it's about it's okay to say hi. But when they start asking you like where you live and things like that, that's when you're like, okay, I don't talk to strangers, right? They start they start trying to get into like things that are happening in your house and personal business. Where's your mom and where's your dad? And they look kind of sneaky. No, if somebody says hi to you, give them a good little wave and keep it moving. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Just again, you don't have to sit there and have a conversation with some weird grown up that you don't know, because you have a lot of evil people out there that they steal kids, they kidnap children because the kids are not aware. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You're old enough to be aware of what is happening around you. Don't never ever leave with some stranger, right? Don't ever when you're at school, and because people do it, they'll go to the school and I'm picking up such and such, and you go and look and you never seen that person. You never go with those people. You say, I don't know that person. That's a stranger, right? But if it's it could be one of us in here picking you up. I might have to pick you up from school one day. You never know. right? But you know me, right? I'm not a stranger, right? Right. But you gotta be aware of what's going on. You guys are getting to that age. People depend on you not being aware of your surroundings to take advantage. But it's okay to be nice. It's okay to say hi to people if they say hi to you. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Good. And then you keep it moving. All right?
And I met my neighbor, and he said hi to me, and we go on the same bus.
Right? Yeah.
And our bus number is bus 59.
Okay.
There's a lot of kids there.
I know. I see it. I drive by it every day. Taking my kids to school, I see the whole lineup driving by your house. But think about it. You got neighbors, right? The scriptures say to be at peace with your neighbor. Doesn't mean you got to go into your neighbor's house if he invites you. You don't do that without your parents knowing, right? But you be nice with the neighbor. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good, right? Because you got to ride the bus with him. You got to do all that stuff. So you want to be peaceful. You want to be neighborly, right? You just never know. What else we got? Oh, man. Well, not trying to set no records up in here. 2 o'clock. What's up, Max? Huh? You got to speak up, Max.
I eat, I know, then when we go to school, we eat and what? TikTok and teachers.
Max is giving us a rundown of his day. It's all good, Max. It's all good. All right. If that's it. Unless the children want to give us more edification. I mind you before you have it done. We got a lot of kids, man. We got a plethora of them here in this school. A plethora, and they just keep coming. Like, what the heck is going on here? Somehow they just, the wombs of the Hebrew women are lively.
He's wearing.
They're more lively than the other women.
He's wearing on his entire body. I need that.
I know, y'all both do. You can't just dress like a priest, you gotta act like one too. Ooh, God. Right? Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
Baruch Hushai.
Baruch Hushai.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Aitar.
Aitar.
Shalach.
Shalach.
Hayaka Allah.
Hayaka Allah.
Wa'alahayim.
Wa'alahayim.
Ha.
Ha.
Shmar'al.
Shmar'al.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Chazak.
Chazak.
Izar.
Izar.
Magan.
Magan.
Samak.
Samak.
Yasha'Allah.
Yasha'Allah.
Shalach.
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 Much wisdom.
Much wisdom.
Knowledge and understanding.
Knowledge and understanding.
Patience and faith.
Patience and faith.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Love. And spiritual power.
And spiritual power.
Forgive all of our sins.
Forgive all of our sins.
Baruch Hushai.
Baruch Hushai.
Shalach.
Shalach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Aitar.
Aitar.
For in thee
is
our hope.
Is our hope.
Amen.
Amen. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please listen to us right now. Send Michael and the righteous angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and to make strong the people of Israel. Also send unto us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, spiritual power, and forgive all of our sins. Yahweh Shai, come quickly, for in thee is our hope, always and forever. Amen. Amen.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
Ahawa'ah. Nathan Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Hathawara.
Hathawara. That's blessed you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, gives to us the law.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahawa'ah.
Bahawa'ah.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathanael.
Awar.
Award.
La Ra'ah.
La'ara'ah. That's blessed you, Yahweh, and then Yahweh Shai that gives to us the light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahawa'ah.
Nathanael.
Ayol.
Ayol.
Korah.
Korah.
La Kora'ah.
La Kora'ah.
Ha'ayin.
Ha'ayin. That's blessed you, Yahweh, that gives to us the ram's horns to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahawa'ah.
Bahawa'ah.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathanael.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Zayat.
Zayat.
Lamashah.
Lamashah.
Yasher Allah.
Yasharallah. That's blessed you, Yahweh, and then Yahweh Shai that gives us olive oil to anoint Israel.
This is Psalms 92. It is a good thing
It is a good thing
to give thanks unto Yahweh,
to give thanks to Yahweh,
to sing praises unto thy name,
to sing praises to thy name,
O Most High,
O Most High,
to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning,
to show forth thy loving kindness in the
and
morning,
thy faithfulness every night,
and thy faithfulness every night,
upon an instrument of 10 strings,
upon an instrument of 10 strings,
upon the psaltery,
upon the psaltery,
upon the harp with the solemn sound.
upon the harp with a solemn sound.
For thou,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy works.
has made me glad through thy
I
works.
will triumph in the works of thy hands.
I will triumph in the works of thy
O
hands.
Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
how great are thy works,
how great are thy works,
and thy thoughts are very deep.
and thy thoughts are very
A
deep.
brutish man knoweth not,
A brutish man knoweth not,
neither do a fool understand this.
neither do the fool understand
When the
this.
wicked spring up as the grass,
When the wicked spring as the
and
grass,
when all the workers of iniquity do flourish,
and when all the workers of iniquity do
it
flourish,
is that they shall be destroyed forever.
it is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou, O Yahweh,
But thou, O
are
Yahweh,
most high forevermore.
are most high forevermore.
For lo thine enemies,
For lo thy enemies,
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
for lo thine enemies shall perish,
for lo thy enemies shall perish.
and all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
But my horn,
But my horn
shalt thou exalt,
shalt thou exalt
like the horn of a unicorn.
like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
My eye also shall see,
My eye also shall see
my desire of my enemies,
my desire of my
and
enemies,
my ears shall hear,
and my ears shall hear
my desire of the wicked,
my desire of the wicked
that rise up against me.
that rise up against
The
me.
righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm
He
tree.
shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like the cedar of Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai
shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
shall flourish in the courts of the Most
They
High.
shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old
They
age.
shall be fat and flourish.
They shall be fat and flourish
To show that Yahweh is upright.
to show that Yahweh is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock,
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
and there is no unrighteousness in him.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai,
Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar,
Hamalawat.
Hamalawat,
Ladawad.
Ladawad,
Hanan.
Hanan,
Ma.
Ma,
Tawa.
Tawa,
Wama.
Wama,
Na'ayam.
Na'ayam,
Shabbat.
Shabbat,
Achim.
Achim,
Gum.
Gum,
Yachad.
Yachad,
Kashaman.
Kashaman,
Hatawa.
Hatawa,
Ayel.
Ayel,
Haraash.
Haraash,
Yarah.
Uriah,
Ayel.
Ayel,
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan,
Zakwan.
Zakwan,
Aharon.
Aharon,
Shayarad.
Shayarad,
Alpayah.
Alpayah,
Madawatyawa.
Madawatyawa,
Katol.
Katol,
Haramun.
Haramun,
Shayarad.
Shayarad,
Ayel.
Ayel,
Hararia.
Hararia,
Kazayawan.
Kazayawan,
Chaya.
Chaya,
Shum.
Shum,
Tazawah.
Tazawah,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Af.
Ah,
Habaraka.
Habaraka,
Chayam.
Hayam,
Ay.
Ay,
Ha'alam.
Abalam.
Aman.
Amen. It's in Psalms 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious oil upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as a dew that is sitting upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Babakashah.
Babakashah.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our cries.
Hear our cries.
We ask
that
you remove
all
sickness,
all sickness,
all diseases,
all diseases,
all viruses,
all viruses,
all coughs,
all coughs,
all mucuses,
all mucuses
from our bodies.
from our bodies.
We ask that you remove all sickness, and disease, from our spirits,
from our spirits,
from our thinking,
from our thinking.
We ask
that
you remove pride,
that you remove pride,
that you remove haughtiness,
that you remove haughtiness,
high thinking,
know-it-alls,
remove that mentality, out of us, that we may be healed, from our sicknesses, We ask these things,
We ask these things.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
We thank you,
We thank you
for this Shabbat,
for this Shabbat,
to serve you,
to serve you,
for the unity,
for the unity,
for the brotherhood,
for the brotherhood,
for the sisterhood,
the sisterhood,
and we ask,
that
you continue,
to
gather us together,
together
in your name,
in your name.
B'Hashem Yahushai,
B'Hashem Yahushai,
the water,
the water,
from Yad,
from Yad,
Aman.
Aman.
Let's circle up. I'm gonna want to call it.
Men of Israel, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Barakatah, Kubasra,
Let's turn and face lovely daughters of Zion. Call it.
saluting out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemarathan, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Yagamatah, dismiss. Let's say shalom to everyone online.
Shalom.
We will see y'all back here on Wednesday. Shalom.